Thank you. Oh my God, I have to apologize. Here. You guys, you want to stand up and come way down? Everybody stand up, wake up. Stand up, please. You guys, thank you. Stand up.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning. Do I have an interpreter on the line?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. This is Lázaro Fernandez, court interpreter.
Good morning, Mr. Fernandez. I have been told that the party here may or may not need a interpreter. Does he have the headphones, officer?
No.
No. Okay. Can you just make a general call to the gallery to see if anybody is going to need your assistance?
Yes, of course, Your Honor. It will be my pleasure. Buenos días. ¿Se encuentra alguien presente esta mañana que requiera de los servicios del intérprete judicial en español?
Nobody, Your Honor.
Okay. Nobody is raising their hand, and it's my understanding when they spoke to him earlier, he indicated he would not be needing his services. So I think we will be okay, but if something changes, do you mind if we reach out to you again?
I will be ready to assist, Your Honor. Thank you.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. This is the time set for the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar on June 10th, 2026. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I will be calling you each one at a time to the podium. I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. I will let you know what you are here for, if I have appointed an attorney, if you have a bond, and what your release conditions are. We're also going to go over the victim's rights advisement. If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. If we could start with Jose Lopez to the podium and Lauren Hertzner to the chair. Good morning. May I get your name and date of birth?
Jose Lopez Heredia, 26th of July, 1983.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. You are here for one count of theft means of transportation, a class 3 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 25th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 29th at 8:30. I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You will be equipped with electronic monitoring, and you do have written conditions of release. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You're also going to need to ensure that you attend all of your hearings. If you fail to appear at any of these hearings, a warrant would issue for your arrest, and then you would be held on bond at your future hearing. This will all be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
Can we use the translate? No.
You need an interpreter?
Yeah, interpret
Okay.
right now.
One moment. We'll get him back on the line. Perfect.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is the interpreter speaking.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us again. Mr. Lopez has indicated he would like to utilize the interpreter. Are you able to connect so we can do simultaneous?
Yes, of course, Your Honor. I will be dialing that number. I'm dialing that number right as we speak. Does he have the headset with him?
We're about to hand it to him.
Thank you.
Sí, lo escucho. ¿Usted me escucha a mí?
Sí, sí lo escucho. The interpreter's ready, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
Por lo que entendí que ella dijo es que tengo los cargos cambiaron. Voy a estar con supervisión monitoreada. La pregunta va a ser ¿a qué dirección tengo para que me monitoreen? Porque yo no soy de aquí, de Arizona. Mi familia es de Florida.
So my understanding is that the charges have changed and that I will be under monitored supervision. My question is, what address do I need to report to for that supervision? Because I am not from here. I am from Florida.
So now that we have the interpreter on the line, I'm going to go over everything that we spoke about before he joined us. So what I previously mentioned is you are here today on a new case. It is for one count of theft means of transportation, a class 3 felony. I found probable cause and appointed an attorney to represent you. You have 2 hearings coming up. You have a status conference, June 25th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing, June 29th at 8:30. I am releasing you today to the supervision of pretrial services with electronic monitoring, and you do have written conditions of release. Those things include no contact with the alleged victim, complainant, or witness, no driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. As it relates to your question, you will have to remain in the state of Arizona during the pendency of this case. With your paperwork, you're going to get an envelope. The envelope is going to have instructions on how to contact pretrial services. But you will also be equipped with the electronic monitoring before you are released from custody. Did you have any further questions?
No.
No.
Okay. If you'll take a step to your left, officers, do you have the paperwork yet?
Not yet.
Okay. If you'll take a seat in the gallery, the officers will bring you out that paperwork in just a few.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's your
Mr. Fernandez Lopez, I do appreciate you joining us here again. I do believe that should take care of our Spanish matters this morning.
Oh, it was my pleasure to help you, Honor. I hope you have a great rest of your morning. Thank you.
You too. Appreciate it. Can I have Lauren to the podium and Daniel to the chair? Can I get your name and date of birth?
Yes, my name is Lauren Dwayne Hudson II, born September 3rd, 1988.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on two cases. You are here today on a probation case as well as a new case. Your new charges are for one count of theft means of transportation, a class 3 felony. And because you were on probation at the time of this alleged offense, you're here on a term 1 probation violation. I am finding probable cause on your new case. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you in both cases. You're going to have 3 hearings coming up. They are going to be 3 days in a row next week. You're going to have a status conference June 16th at 8:30, a probation revocation hearing June 17th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. On your new case, you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. However, in your probation case, you are being held non-bondable. So posting that bond at this time will not get you released until at least you have your probation hearing next week to determine what's going to happen in your probation case. This will all be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions? Please take a seat in the gallery and they'll bring you out your paperwork. Thank you, sir. Daniel Gonzalez to the podium. Dax Atridge to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Daniel 21203.
And your last name?
Gonzalez.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on 3 cases. You're here on a new case as well as 2 probation cases. Your new charges are for 2 counts of trafficking stolen property, a class 2 felony, 1 count of theft, a class 3 felony, 2 counts of organized retail theft, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of organized retail theft, a class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. Your probation cases are allegations of violating term 1 because you were on probation at the time of this alleged offense. So I'll appoint an attorney in those cases as well. You are going to have 3 hearings coming up 3 days in a row. You're going to have a status conference June 16th at 8:30, a probation revocation hearing June 17th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. On your new case, you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. However, in your probation cases, you are being held non-bondable. So posting that bond on your new charges is not going to get you released until you find out what's going to happen in your probation case. This will all be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No.
Please take a seat in the gallery and they'll bring that out. Oh, looks like he might have yours. You can grab that from him. Dax to the podium and Gary to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Dax Alexander Attridge, 10/16/1994.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on 3 cases. It looks like you are here today on a new case. You're here on a probation violation warrant and a failure to appear warrant. So we'll go over each case. Your new charges are for 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence, a class 6 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. In this case, probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. On the case where you failed to appear, it does look like you have a pending case related to open shoplifting charges. I'm going to affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you in that case. And your third case on the calendar is your probation violation warrant that's issued with allegations that you violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 7. I'll appoint an attorney in that case. You are going to have multiple hearings coming up dating from June 15th to June 18th. So your first hearing is going to be on the failure to appear warrant. You're going to have a status conference June 15th at 8:30. On your new case, you're going to have a status conference June 16th at 8:30. On your probation case, you have a probation hearing June 17th at 8:30. On your new charges, you have an evidentiary hearing June 17th at 1:30. So you have one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And then your last hearing is a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. So 5 hearings total, 4 days in a row next week. In the case you failed to appear, you have a secured appearance bond of $1,000. In your probation case, it's $250.
Okay.
However, in your new charges, because you were out on felony release at the time of this alleged offense, you're not eligible for bond today on your new charges. So what that means is posting the bond on the other 2 cases at this time won't get you released until you have your evidentiary hearing, which is the hearing on June 17th at 1:30. That's the time set to determine if bond will be set on your new charges.
Okay.
That will be the earliest time you could be set to be released with the new case, okay?
Okay.
This will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, please take a step to your left. The officer will get you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Gary Mitchell to the podium and David Anderson to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Gary Mitchell, 3195.
Thank you, sir. And can I get the state's appearance for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Brooke Gahn, on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. Sir, you are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of discharging a firearm in city limits, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have 2 hearings coming up, both in the downtown Superior Courthouse. It's going to start with a status conference, June 16th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing, June 18th at 8:30. Next, we're going to discuss any release conditions and bond that you may have. But before I do want to hear from the state. So, Ms. Gaunt.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $150,000 cash-only bond along with electronic monitoring. For some reason, law enforcement did not charge aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, but it's clear based on the facts in the Form 4 that would be an appropriate additional charge. Mr. Mitchell shot the victim in the chest. He has 8 prior felony convictions, including multiple assault convictions and participating in a criminal street gang. Our understanding is he does not have a listed local residence here in Arizona. He has ties to the state of California, and it is believed that he is a documented gang member. Given the use of a firearm and the fact that the subject was shot and did suffer a serious injury, as well as Mr. Mitchell's lengthy criminal history, which includes many prior convictions for violent crimes, we believe he's a significant danger to the community. And given his ties to California, there is also a concern that he is a risk of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cox. And Mr. Mitchell, I did review the allegations in this case, and I was also surprised to see that there wasn't a charge for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So although the police have not included that here today, there's a good probability that when the state moves forward with the charging, that an additional charge will be included as it relates to that. I do agree with the state in this case. I do believe a cash bond of $150,000 is appropriate in this case. In the event you do post that bond and are released from custody, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services and equipped with electronic monitoring. You'd also have some additional conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you're not to possess any weapons. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
Yes. I'm not one question now. Why so many charges? What, like, do they stack the charges to see what's going to stick, or are you actually getting charged with every charge they say? I'm not from out here, so I don't really know the details. I'm trying to.
So today you're here on pre-filing charges. So nothing has been officially filed at this point. These are the charges that the police have submitted. The state will review these, the prosecutor will review these and determine what is appropriate. As you heard from Ms. Gaunt, it's probably going to include an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, which is probably the most appropriate charge. However, the allegations currently that have been provided do allege and meet the statutory requirement for possession of a prohibited person. The allegations do include that you had a weapon at the time of this alleged offense and that you do have multiple prior felony convictions. And so based on that, you do meet the requirements for that. In addition to that, the discharging of firearm in city limits, again, the allegations include that a firearm was discharged at a person in an apartment complex, which would be within the city limits. So again, you meet the definition and statutory requirement for those charges, but it'll ultimately be up to the prosecutor as to which charges they move forward with. So you'll likely receive your formal complaint in the next couple of days that will list exactly what those are, and then you can talk to your attorney about those things. But again, the current ones are the possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, discharging a firearm in city limits, and those are what the police have submitted to the prosecutor for review.
Thank you for clearing that for me, Aaron.
Of course. If you'd like to step to your left, the officer will get that paperwork for you.
All right.
It's the left one back right.
David Anderson to the podium and Tony Henderson to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth, please?
David Anderson, November 3rd, 1984.
Thank you, sir. Looks like you're here today on two cases. You're here today on a new case, as well as a probation violation warrant that was issued for you. Your new charges are for one count of theft means of transportation, a class 3 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. In your probation case, a warrant issued with allegations that you violated terms 4, 5, and 15. I'll appoint an attorney in that case as well. You have 3 hearings coming up, 3 days in a row, a status conference, June 16th at 8:30, a probation revocation hearing, June 17th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing, June 18th at 8:30. On your new charges, you do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. On your probation case, you have a $250 bond. That is a total bond of $10,250. In the event you were to post that bond and be released from custody, you would have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainant, or witness, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. This will be all included in your paperwork. Sir, did you have any questions? Please take a step to your left and the officer will get you that paperwork. Can I have Tony Henderson to the podium and Ms. Arneson to the chair? Good morning, sir. May I get your name and date of birth?
Good morning. Tony Henderson, 6/6/1968.
Thank you, sir. And can I get the state's appearance?
Here on Brooke Vaughn on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. And can I get defense counsel's appearance for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Zachary Ansell for Mr. Henderson. He's present in custody in front of you.
Thank you, Mr. Ansell. Mr. Henderson, here today on a new case. It is for one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a class 3 felony. Mr. Ansell, did you want to be heard on probable cause, release conditions, or both?
Release conditions only here, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. I am going to find probable cause today. I'm not going to appoint an attorney at this time. It does look like you completed a financial affidavit. It may be incomplete, as you indicated you didn't have all the necessary information. But since I don't have the information to find that you're indigent, and I do note that you have an attorney here today that has filed an entry of appearance, I'm not going to appoint an attorney at this time. But if in the future you find that's necessary, you can complete a full financial profile in order to determine if you're indigent moving forward. Next, we're going to discuss any hearing dates you may have, any release conditions you may have, but I do want to hear from both the state as well as your counsel before I do proceed. And so, Ms. Gaunt, did you want to place anything on the record as it relates to release conditions?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $25,000 secured appearance bond. Although the state does acknowledge it doesn't appear that Mr. Henderson has any prior criminal history. This was a very serious incident involving a firearm. Mr. Henderson struck the victim in the head with the butt of the firearm. He returned to his residence and then came back again to the victim's arm, waving the firearm around and re-engaged in an altercation with the victim. The victim was injured by the strike from the firearm. Our understanding is that Mr. Henderson and the victim do not know each other. The state is concerned about public safety, given the display of the firearm, and the fact that Mr. Henderson did physically assault the victim. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. Mr. Ansel?
Your Honor, I do not agree with the sentiment of the state in that regard. Mr. Henderson presents as a 58-year-old man who has no prior history of any kind that I was able to locate. Now, obviously, the allegation is serious, but he is a local of Arizona for 30 years, as I'm told. He owns a major construction company as well, and he is an employer. And from what I gathered from the Form 4, this was not a random occurrence. It appears to me that Mr. Henderson is alleged to have been at his place of residence, and it's at least possible or to be contended that the victim was on his property at the time. Now, having said that, that's going to be, dealt with in court, but there is no reason to believe that Mr. Henderson is a danger to the community, certainly not a flight risk. This is his home. And as far as being a danger to the community, under the facts in the Form 4, which I found somewhat spotty, I have no indication that he's going to need anything other than OR in this case. And if you are inclined to impose a bond, I would ask that it just be a nominal bond.
And counsel, was this his residence or was it his place of employment or both?
Sure. So as I understand it, it is a fairly decent sized property where his primary office is based out of, but he also stays there. So it's not the address on his license. I know that, but his family and friends who are beside themselves that he's in this situation have told me that he frequently is to be found on that property at all times of day.
Okay, so he runs his business from this location, but then also has a place to stay at this location as well.
Correct.
Okay. And as far as I can tell from the Form 4, it appears as though there's the victim in this case was essentially just driving by and potentially stopped on the property, but there's no relation between your client and the alleged victim in this case. Is that correct? So there'd be no reason for future contact.
That is correct. I don't believe there's any connection between the victim and any property there. The implication seemed to be that the victim might have been trying to visit a nearby property and maybe got lost. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you, counsel. I'm just reviewing a couple more things before I make my ruling. It'll be just one moment.
I can go to you though.
Okay, so I'm going to set a status conference on June 25th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on June 29th at 8:30. Those are both going to take place in the downtown Superior Courthouse. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. With your paperwork, you're going to get an envelope. You're going to need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services within 72 hours of your release. You're also going to have written conditions of release. Based on the conversation I've had with your counsel, it doesn't sound like you'd have any reason to have contact with the victim, but no initiating any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. And because this did involve a weapon, you're not to possess any weapons at this time. All of this will be in your paperwork. Counsel, did you have any questions?
No, Your
Mr.
Honor,
Ansel?
thank you.
All right. And did you want my office to send you a copy of these release conditions?
Please.
Okay. And Ms. Gaunt?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. All right, Mr. Henderson, we'll get you a copy of these release conditions and we'll also send a copy over to your counsel. But if you'll take a seat in the gallery, they'll bring that out to you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. And thank you, Mr. Ansel, for being here. Feel free to disconnect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, could I be excused and then come back for the end of the calendar?
Absolutely. And you're coming for, okay, it looks like the last one and then a house call?
Yes, correct.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Gaunt.
Thank you.
May I have Ms. Arneson to the podium and Lisa Boshiers to the chair? May I get your name and date of birth?
Trelawney Louise Arneson, 12/7/77.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you are here today because a warrant was issued on June 4th of 2026 with allegations that you violated your pretrial release conditions as it relates to tampering with your ankle monitor. As a result of that, I'm going to set a status conference June 16th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. Counsel has previously appointed to represent you in this case. You do have a secured appearance bond of $5,000. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you do have written conditions. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime. No contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. That will be in your paperwork. Ma'am, did you have any questions?
So just a bond and then I'm out?
If you post the bond, you'd be released from custody, and then you would need to ensure that you attended all of your future hearings. If you fail to appear at any of them, another warrant would issue, and then you'd also lose the bond that you posted.
I understand.
Okay, if you'll take a step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Lisa to the podium and Gabriel to the chair. I get your name and date of birth.
Lisa Boshiers, 9/8/69.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you are here today on two cases. You're here on a new case as well as your probation case. Your new charges are for 3 counts of organized retail theft, a class 4 felony, 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a class 4 felony. And then because you were on probation at the time of this alleged offense, you're here on a term 1 probation violation. I'm finding probable cause and appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have 3 hearings coming up. You're going to have a status conference June 16th at 8:30, a probation revocation hearing June 17th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. On your new charges, you have a secured appearance bond of $1,500. On your probation case, it is $500. That is a total bond of $2,000. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you will have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime. No contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. And you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. This will be included in your paperwork. Ma'am, did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Please take a step to your left and the officer will get that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gabriel to the podium and Juan to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Gabriel Portas, 11/21/82.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on 3 cases. You're here on a new case, you're here on a probation violation warrant, and you're here on a failure to appear warrant from the West McDowell Justice Court. So we'll start with your new charges. It is for 1 count of misconduct involving a weapon, a class 4 felony, 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense, class 4 felony, and 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a class 5 felony. Probable cause has been found on your new charges. As it relates to your probation case, they allege that you violated terms 6 and 7. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in each of these cases. These first 2 cases are out of the Superior Court. And you're going to have 3 hearings coming up 3 days in a row in the Superior Court. You're going to have a status conference June 16th at 8:30, a probation revocation hearing June 17th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. Your third case on the calendar, as I mentioned, it's from the West McDowell Justice Court. They allege you failed to appear at a hearing for an underlying charge of driving with a license that was suspended, revoked, or canceled. I'll appoint an attorney in that case. This hearing is in the West McDowell Justice Court, June 15th at 8:30. So they're all next week, 4 days in a row. Just make sure you pay attention to the location because one is at a justice court, the other are at a Superior Court. Okay, on your new charges, you have a secured appearance bond of $15,000. On your probation case, you have a secured appearance bond of $5,000. And in the failure to appear warrant, it is $500. So you have a total bond of $20,500. In the event you were to post that bond and be released from custody, you would have written conditions. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. And you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. This will be included in your paperwork. Sir, did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
If you'll take a step to your left, the officer will get that paperwork for you.
Thank you.
Juan to the podium. Tashina to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Juan Santos,
And your date of birth, sir?
12/15/63.
Thank you. You are here today on two cases. You're here on a probation violation warrant that was issued, as well as a failure to pay warrant from the Youngtown Municipal Court. Your probation violation warrant that was issued alleges you violated terms 3, 4, and 5. I'm appointing an attorney and setting a probation revocation hearing June 17th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Courthouse. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $500. The warrant issued from the Youngtown Municipal Court alleges you failed to pay some fines for a prior charge related to driving with a license that was suspended, revoked, or canceled. I'm going to appoint an attorney and set a hearing in the Youngtown Municipal Court on June 15th at 9 a.m. In this case, I'm placing what's called a placeholder bond of $50. So your total bond between the two cases is $550. In the event you do post the bond and are released from custody, you do have written conditions. You may not possess weapons or alcohol. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release, and then you need to ensure you attend all of your hearings. If you were to fail to appear at any of them, a warrant would issue for your arrest, and you'd forfeit any bond that you may have posted. This will be in your paperwork. Sir, did you have any questions?
No.
If you'll take a step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. If you could step towards the officer, he'll hand you that paperwork.
Surgery, may I identify?
Okay, no problem. Thank you, sir. Tashina Bluehouse to the podium and Benjamin Treviso to the chair.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. May I get your name and date of birth?
Tashina Bluehouse, January 18, 1985.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you are here today on two cases. You're here on a new case as well as a probation violation warrant. Your new charges are for 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony. Your probation violation warrant alleges you violated terms 3 and 5. For purposes of your new case, I am not finding probable cause for the charges listed. I simply don't have enough information today. It doesn't mean that they are dismissed, though, so I'm still going to appoint an attorney to represent you in both your new charges as well as your probation case.
Okay.
I'm also going to give you 3 hearing dates coming up. You're going to have a probation revocation hearing, June 17th at 8:30. On your new charges, you're going to have a status conference, June 25th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing, June 29th at 8:30.
Okay.
Because I'm not finding probable cause on your new charges, there's no bond. But you do have a bond on your probation case. You have a secured appearance bond of $500. So that's the amount you would need to post in order to be released from custody. If you post that bond and are released from custody, you have written conditions. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume drugs without a valid prescription. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release.
Right.
And on your new charges, again, even though I'm not finding probable cause, if you miss either of those hearings, they still will issue a warrant for your arrest. So you must attend those hearings, which is June 25th and June 29th for the new charges, okay?
Okay.
That'll be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
No.
Please take a step to your left and the officer will get that for you. Benjamin to the podium and Jasmine to the chair. Get your name and date of birth?
Benjamin Edward Treviso Jr., 12/3/1985.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you're here today because a warrant was issued from the Goodyear Municipal Court. It looks like it's a post-adjudication, meaning you likely failed to pay some fines on a prior charge for disorderly conduct. I also note that you were seen by a judge last night, well,
Yes.
the previous day at 2 a.m., and it looks like you were held on a bond on your probation case. So what I'm going to do in this case, since you're currently in custody on another case, is I'm going to appoint an attorney. I'm going to set a hearing. Do you have a question?
Actually, I got some statements to say because so the fines in Glendale or in Goodyear are paid. The last time I was here, it was for the misconduct with my brother in November, and I've already took care of those cases. The probation or the probation one, it says that I didn't contact I didn't contact him, but he went to my dad's house. I have his number. I called him. I left messages. I don't understand why why I'm here. My dad, he posted the bond yesterday for the $100. So they told me I had 24 hours. I thought that's what was happening. And then all of a sudden they said that I had a page 2. I was a page 2 for what? Because when the Goodyear police came, or when the Avondale police came to the residence to pick me up, he said something about that I had something with a disorderly conduct. And I asked him right then and there, this shouldn't be right. You know what I'm saying? Like I should not be standing here before you, Your Honor, because I've taken care of these things responsibly. I've turned myself around. I got my own business started. Like I'm moving forward, and this just keeps happening. It's these little things, and it's not even big. It's saying that I'm not doing the things that I'm doing. And I don't understand. And I'm trying, like, I really am doing everything I possibly can to move forward. Like, usually my dad would not ever even put a penny to my name, but he's even seeing me do this. And he's like, yo, you don't need to be going through this ridiculousness. Let's just go ahead and pay your bond, you know what I'm saying, and get you out of here.
Right.
So, I mean, I understand that if there is a possibility that I can just get out of here by OR, but if it's not, then that's fine. But I'm good at showing up at all my stuff. And because I'm going to be going back to my father's house, that's I mean, it's all like I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm tired of losing, Your Honor. I'm really tired of losing. I'm tired of being I'm tired of showing like people that I like as if I can't do it. I do it. I have no problem doing it. It's just for some reason this is happening. I'm not understanding it.
So I'm not going to be able to answer your question as to why Goodyear Municipal Court issued the warrant. It does look like they did confirm and indicate it is a valid warrant.
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe you've completely resolved that, you will have to take that up with the Goodyear Municipal Court. However, if you've already posted your bond on your probation case, then I'll release you as it relates to the Goodyear case, but I'm still going to have to give you a hearing date for you to go and address that directly with them.
That is fine. Yes, ma'am.
Because I can't answer those questions for you, because I just simply show that there was a warrant. They've indicated it was valid. Whether or not you owe any balance based on, they're saying you either owe a balance or you failed to complete some classes. I'm not sure. It just simply says it's a post adjudication. So it means one of those two things.
Okay.
So you're going to have to go to the hearing to find that out.
Not a
So
problem.
what I'm going to do, since you are being released and I'm not going to appoint an attorney to represent you, you're going to have a hearing June 24th at 1 p.m.
Okay.
I'll release you on your own recognizance. So again, that just means you are going to promise to appear at that hearing on June 24th at 1 p.m. If you don't appear, even if you believe it's resolved, if you don't appear, they're still going to issue a warrant for failing to appear, and then you'll probably be held on a bond. So make sure you go to that hearing.
Sure.
And then you have the same release conditions, no possessing weapons or alcohol, contact your probation officer within
Not a problem.
72 hours.
Thank
Okay. We're going to need to reprint this, so if you'll just take a seat in the gallery, they'll bring that out.
you. Not a problem. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Your
sir.
Honor. I appreciate you so much.
Jasmine to the podium and Antonio to the chair, please. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jasmine Allen, 2395.
Thank you, ma'am. You are here today on a new case. It is for one count of burglary, a class 3 felony, one count of taking the identity of another, a class 4 felony, one count of narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony, one count of dangerous drug possession, a class 4 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. For purposes of today's hearing, I'm not finding probable cause for the narcotic drug charge. I just don't have enough information for that charge. It doesn't mean it's dismissed. They may test the substance and move forward with that charge. I am finding probable cause for the other charges, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You have 2 hearings coming up. It's going to start with a status conference, June 25th at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing, June 29th at 8:30. I am going to release you today to the supervision of pretrial services. You do have written conditions. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. With your paperwork, you're going to get an envelope. You must contact pretrial services within 72 hours of your release, and then make sure you go to all of your hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue, and then you'll be held on bond at your next hearing. If you have any questions,
No, thank you.
please take a step to your left, and the officer will get that for you. Antonio to the podium, and Jordan to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Antonio Alcid, 10/2/1996.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 7 counts of trafficking stolen property, a class 2 felony, 2 counts of attempted trafficking stolen property, a class 3 felony, 14 counts of organized retail theft, a class 4 felony, and 6 counts of attempted organized retail theft, a Class 5 felony. I'll give you an opportunity to speak in a moment. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 25th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 29th at 8:30. I am going to release you today to the supervision of pretrial services, but you do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. With your paperwork, you're going to get an envelope. You're going to need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services within 72 hours of your release. And then you need to ensure that you attend all of your hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and then you will be held on a bond at your next hearing.
No problem.
Did you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am, I'll be at every court date and everything I need to do.
Thank you, sir. Oh, did you have
One
some?
question, I'm done.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything should be in your paperwork.
That's what I was gonna ask you, is everything?
Yeah, everything I told you will be in your paperwork, and then the information to contact pretrial services will be in the envelope attached to your paperwork.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
so
sir.
much, ma'am.
Jordan to the podium and Jose to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Jordan Tollers, and then January 7th, 2003.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 6 felony, and 2 counts of endangerment, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 25th at 8:30, preliminary hearing June 29th at 8:30. I'm going to release you today to the supervision of pretrial services, but you do have written conditions. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged complainant. You are not to possess any weapons, and you're not to possess any simulated weapons. You're also going to get an envelope with your paperwork. You must contact pretrial services within 72 hours of release. You must attend all of your hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and then you'll be held on bond at that next hearing. Did you have any questions?
So basically, my understanding is I get released today, right? And then I just show up to my court date.
In addition to that, you need to make sure you contact pretrial services within 72 hours. But
Okay.
yes, those are correct, plus that phone call, okay?
Okay, that works. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you. Jose to the podium. McKenna to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Jose Loaneto, 11-792.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on initial arrest warrant that was issued from the El Mirage Municipal Court. It has an offense date of March 7th of 2026, and it is for 1 count of threat, 1 count of unlawful imprisonment, 1 count of disorderly conduct, those are all Class 1 misdemeanors, and 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor. You're not entitled to court-appointed counsel, but you can hire an attorney at your own expense if you would like. You're going to have an arraignment hearing in the El Mirage Municipal Court on June 30th at 8:30 in the morning. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That is your promise to appear at this hearing. You do have written conditions. You're not to possess or consume drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And you must attend all of your future hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and then you'd likely be held on a bond. This will be in your paperwork. Sir, did you have any questions?
No questions. I just missed the other ones because I presented myself to when they took out my ankle monitor, they told me I didn't have to do anything else, and I did call the court, and they told me that I didn't have any court dates, so that's why I missed it, because I wasn't aware of it.
I don't think you missed a court hearing. It looks like they filed a complaint and then just issued the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it looks like if you were previously being held and then, or the monitor was taken off, there likely wasn't any hearing, because it doesn't say that you failed to appear. It looks like they filed the complaint and then issued the arrest.
Okay, yeah, I'll show up.
Appreciate it. Just up to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
All right.
Thank you, sir. McKenna Davis to the podium. May I get your name and date of birth?
McKenna Davis, 10/29/96.
Thank you, ma'am. You're here today because a direct complaint was filed. This was from September 20th of 2024. It has an offense date of March 9th of 2024, and it is for 1 count of taking the identity of another, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of forgery, a Class 4 felony. I'm appointing an attorney and setting a status conference June 25th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 29th at 8:30. In this case, I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That is your promise to appear at these hearings, but you do have written conditions. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you must attend all of your future hearings. If you were to fail to appear, a warrant would issue for your arrest, and then you would be held on a bond at that next hearing. That'll be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
No, it's just I remember missing the last one in Sacramento because I didn't know nobody out there and I didn't know where I was sleeping, so I came out here. But yeah.
Okay, so your hearings will all be here in the downtown Superior Courthouse.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, just step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
Just have to see over there.
And then we'll need to clear the courtroom for our remaining case. Which one? We're probably going to need to reprint it, but we'll see. Thank you. Can I have Joseph Lugo to the podium, please? Can I get your name and date of birth?
Joseph Lugo, 08/08/2000.
Thank you, sir. And can I get the state's appearance for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Brooke Gaunt, about the state.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. And Mr. Lugo, it does look like you are here today on a new case. It is for 10 counts of aggravated luring a minor for sexual exploitation, a Class 2 felony, 12 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of sexual conduct with a minor, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of escape in the second degree, a Class 5 felony. And Ms. Gaunt, was there a request you wanted to place on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asking to seal the Form 4 because it contains a minor victim's name.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt, and that is granted. And Mr. Lugo, what that means is right now, the report provided by the police department is typically available to the public. However, it does appear that the victim's name was listed in the report, and as a result of that, we're going to seal that document. So it's not available to the public with his identifying information, okay? And Ms. Gaunt, I did have a question for you as it relates to probable cause. When reviewing the Form 4, it appeared to me that was a bit of a, lack of a better word, a summary. It just indicated that they found 12 videos in one area, and then another area it said 10 videos. But they only go on to describe about 3 videos and or photographs, and then discussion of 1 conversation that may relate to luring of a minor. So at this point, I'm inclined to find probable cause for 4 counts of aggravated luring minor for sexual exploitation and 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, along with the sexual conduct and the escape, meaning I would not find probable cause for 9 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor and 6 counts of the aggravated luring. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to place anything on the record as it relates to probable cause, if you had anything.
And that's fine, Your Honor. I agree. I think there was perhaps a lack of detail in some of the information. Additionally, I did want to advise the court, it doesn't appear in the Form 4 that they listed the age of the victim. He is 16 years old. I did want to put that on the record. And I will certainly reach out to the detective about improving his Form 4s in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. And I do appreciate that information on the victim's age. So, Mr. Lugo, what that means is right now the police are alleging, as I mentioned, 12 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor and 10 counts of aggravated luring of a minor. However, the information they provided is really just sort of a summary. They only give specific information as to 4 different incidents. So I am only going to find probable cause today for purposes of 4 counts of aggravated luring and 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. It doesn't mean the other counts are dismissed. The prosecutor may get additional information from the detectives, but for purposes of today, I'm not finding probable cause on all of the counts. With that being said, I'm still going to appoint an attorney to represent you. I'm still going to give you a couple of hearings. You're going to start with a status conference June 16th at 8:30 in the morning, a preliminary hearing on June 18th at 8:30 in the morning. Next, we're going to discuss any bond and or release conditions you may have. Ms. Blunt, was there anything you wanted to place on the record as it relates to that?
Yes, thank you. The state's asking for a $150,000 cash only bond, and if Mr. Lugo is able to post that, we'd ask for electronic monitoring as is required by statute, no contact with any minors, and no internet use. These requests are obviously based on the nature of the allegations as well as the seriousness of them. Our understanding is that Mr. Lugo does have 6 prior felony convictions, that he's previously been in the Department of Corrections. He, according to the Form 4, engaged in sexual conduct with a 16-year-old victim and then sent and received graphic videos and photos of a sexual nature with the victim. I would also point out to the court in the Form 4, it appears that the victim is fearful of Mr. Lugo. He did indicate that he wanted to end his contact with Mr. Lugo, but that he was in fear of doing so. We believe that Mr. Lugo is a danger not only to the specific victim, but also to other children in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. And Mr. Lugo, you're also here on 2 probation cases, and the reason for that is because you're currently on probation in 2 cases, and so you're here on a term 1 violation based on the new allegations. So I'm going to appoint an attorney in those cases as well and set a probation revocation hearing on June 17th at 8:30. So that gives you 3 hearing dates, 3 days in a row, all next week. As it relates to your new case, I am going to set a cash bond in the amount of $100,000. You're going to have a cash bond of $5,000 in each probation case. So that's a total cash bond of $110,000. In the event you were to post that bond and be released from custody, you would be released to the supervision of pretrial services, and you'd be equipped with electronic monitoring. But you'd also have written conditions of release. It does include no contact with the alleged victim, complainant, or witness, no contact with minors. You may not possess weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release from custody. This will be included in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
I do have one question, Your Honor. It seems to be with all these allegations, I feel like, you know, I was, I guess, pinned against, you know.
Do you have a question as it relates to your release conditions or as it relates to the charges?
I would say the charges.
Okay. I would recommend that you wait and talk to your attorney about that in private. Your attorney's not here today, but the prosecutor is. And so the prosecutor is listening to everything you're saying, and you may say something that your defense attorney may not want you to say, or that may incriminate you. So I wouldn't recommend talking about any of the facts or any of the charges that you have here today. You're going to meet with that attorney on June 16th. So I would recommend waiting until then. If you have any questions as it relates to your release conditions, I'm happy to answer those things. But any questions as it relates to the facts of the case, that's better for your defense counsel, okay?
I do have questions about my release things.
Okay.
I guess yesterday when I got arrested, I kind of, you know, seen my mom crying, and she was really stressed out. My grandma, you know, is on dialysis. She's old, and I know I could probably be going away for quite some time. So I was wondering if you would be able to find it in your heart to release me on electronic device.
So while I'm sorry to hear that about your grandmother and your mother, those aren't factors that I can take into consideration when setting your release conditions or your bond. So the bond will remain, and that will need to be posted in order to be released, okay?
Yes,
please take a seat in the gallery. The officer will bring out that paperwork. And officer, we did need to reprint number 21.
It's in the back row to your left.
The remaining cases will proceed as a house call. We'll start with case number 31, Audrey Gabriel. Let's see. Date of birth, May 26, 1973. She was unable to be brought to the courtroom due to being a danger to others. So this will proceed as a house call directly after this recording. Ms. Gaunt, can I get your appearance for the record?
Brooke Gaunt, have the seat.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. Ms. Gabriel is here today on a new case for 1 count of aggravated assault involving a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of aggravated assault on a first responder, a Class 6 felony, and 3 counts of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I am finding probable cause and appointing an attorney to represent her. She's going to have a status conference June 16th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. And Ms. Gaunt, was there anything you wanted to place on the records as it relates to bond or release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $75,000 secured appearance bond in this matter. Our understanding is that Ms. Gabriel has prior felony convictions, I believe out of the state of California, including for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is, of course, what she's here before the court on again today. She threatened several people in her apartment complex with a knife. She then proceeded to barricade herself in her apartment. There were extensive law enforcement resources that needed to be used in order to make entry into her apartment and remove her. When she was finally removed from the residence by law enforcement, she was undergoing medical treatment by a paramedic, and then she kicked the paramedic in the chest. She does appear, the information from the Form 4, that she has some significant mental health issues, but we are concerned, given that and her use and display of a weapon, not only on this occasion, but also in her prior conviction, that she's an extreme danger to the community. These threatening of the people in her apartment complex seem to be unprovoked attacks on people that did not know her. And then additionally, given her violent reaction to law enforcement, that heightens our concern for community safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. And as it relates to the incident location, does she reside there? Are you aware?
I believe that she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is
or at least she did as of yesterday. I think there's a reference in the Form 4 from law enforcement that she may not have a residence, and my guess is that they're just assuming that given the situation from yesterday.
Okay. Because I noticed the Form 4 indicates that she was homeless, but I wasn't sure. And the reason for this questioning is I'm trying to decide as it relates to whether or not she can return to the scene of the crime. I'm not sure if she has belongings at this location. It's a little bit unclear to me if she has any belongings or potential any rights to an apartment there, or whether or not the apartment complex would allow her back. Is your request, does it include a request to not return to the scene of the alleged crime?
Yes, Your Honor. We would have no objection if the court wants to include language regarding a civil standby to go back there to get belongings if she has them there.
Okay. I think I will go ahead and do that. I will include information that she can do a standby. Again, just because the Form 4 is a bit unclear, she may or may not have some property at that location. So I will include that she can return to the scene of the alleged crime as it relates to picking up her belongings with a civil standby. Okay. So I am going to impose a secured appearance bond of $50,000. In the event it is posted, she'll be released to pretrial services with electronic monitoring. She'll have the written conditions, which does include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, with the exception of returning there with a civil standby to collect any belongings, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and she may not possess any weapons. Anything further on this case, Ms. Gaunt?
No, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Gaunt. And all of this information will be in the paperwork for Ms. Gabriel. Case number 25 and 26, Michael Ramos. Date of birth, February 9th, 1998, will proceed as a house call due to being a danger to others. He is here today on a new case, along with, it's actually two new cases. The first case is 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a Class 3 felony, 5 counts of threat, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 5 counts of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of resisting arrest, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 4 counts of assault, a Class 3 misdemeanor. They also bifurcated one of the charges to a municipal court out of the town of Wickenburg for 1 count of criminal damage, a misdemeanor charge. On the Superior Court case, I am finding probable cause and appointing an attorney. I'm setting a status conference June 16th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing June 18th at 8:30. In this case, he does have a secured appearance bond of $25,000. In the event he posts bond and is released from custody, he will be released to the supervision of pretrial services and equipped with electronic monitoring. He will also have written conditions. He may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and he may not possess any weapons. As it relates to the criminal damage charge in the municipal court case, I'm not finding probable cause. I don't note anything in the Form 4 that relates to criminal damage. He will have an arraignment hearing in the town of Wickenburg on June 24th at 9 a.m. For case number 16, Nathaniel Hutchins, date of birth April 24th, 1990. This will proceed as a house call due to being a danger to others. He's here on a new case for 1 count of criminal damage, a class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent him. He's going to have a status conference June 25th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing June 29th at 8:30. I am releasing him today to the supervision of pretrial services. He does have written conditions of release. He may not possess or consume drugs without a valid prescription. He may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. With his paperwork, he will get an envelope. He must read the instructions and contact pretrial services within 72 hours of release. Case number 8, Delfina Gonzalez, date of birth September 1st, 1978, is here on a new case for 1 count of assault, a class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, I'm not appointing an attorney at this time. She will have an arraignment hearing in the El Mirage Municipal Court on June 30th at 8:30. I am going to release her today on her own recognizance. That is her promise to appear. She may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim. All of this will be included in her paperwork. If anything changes after I meet with any of these parties, I will update the written record. This does conclude our 8 a.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 11 a.m.
Section. You sure you're going to see here? First, you're going to take all the way up, right, all the way down.
Sir, give me 1 minute to let the other individuals come sit down behind you there.
Your Honor, all the misdemeanors are here with the exception of Mr. Branch.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time set for your initial appearance. You are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney. In some instances, I might be appointing you an attorney. When you come before me, I will let you know. Before I go over your charges and release conditions, know that I've reviewed information from law enforcement as well as pretrial services if they were able to speak to you. Thank you, jail. All right, so your name, please.
Sus Ramon Painori Higuera.
All right, Mr. Benori Higuera, I am seeing you, sir, on charges of resisting arrest and obstructing a public thoroughfare or highway.
Judge, I was trying to go to details.
Oh, hold on, sir. You're allowed to speak. I'm not going to prevent you from doing that. But again, I just told you all, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. What I didn't say is everything you say is being recorded and live streamed, sir. So What I don't want you to do is say something that factually might sound good to you, but that can be used against you in a later proceeding. All right? So I'm going to hold you, sir, on a $200 cash bond set court for today at noon. So you'll be seen by a judge, sir, from Marana in 3 hours. I'm going to appoint Janet Altschiller to represent you on this case. You can address the facts with your attorney, sir, and she will decide how best to use that information. All right, sir? All right, sir, you're excused.
So governor, until 50. Yeah, sir. Please get processed too.
Your name, please, sir?
Jack Langwell.
All right. Mr. Gladwell, I am seeing you, sir, on city court charges and justice court charges. On the justice court charges, sir, is possession of paraphernalia. On the city court charges, these are failure to appears for charges of paraphernalia and criminal trespass. Sir, I'm going to hold you on $500 bonds on both these charges. On the justice court case, you're going to have court tomorrow, June 11th, in front of Judge Foreman at 1 p.m. I'm going to appoint William Parvin to represent you. On the city court matter, sir, I'm going to appoint the city PD's office to represent you. Set this court in front of Judge Blue, the mental health court judge, for June 17th at 1:45 p.m. Appoint the city PD's office and enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. All right, sir?
Yep.
All right, sir. Your excuse. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ortega.
Your name, please, sir.
Juan Ortega.
Mr. Ortega, I am seeing you, sir, on a failure to appear charge for criminal trespass. The warrant asks for a $1,000 cash bond. I'm going to do a $500 cash or secured bond. Set court for tomorrow, June 11th at 10 a.m. Appoint Michael Vaughn to represent you at that time. All right, sir? All right, sir, you're excused.
Verdict.
Hi, ma'am. Your name, please?
Nicole Pennick.
All right, Ms. Pernick, I'm seeing you on a charge of domestic violence assault. I understand there is a alleged victim who is on Microsoft Teams who wished to be heard.
Yes.
Would you please state your name, ma'am, and tell the court what you wanted to know?
Yes, it's Stephen McDonald. And I would like you to know that I think that the problem with Nicole has to do with delusion, because I watched things happen as it was escalating. She thought that there were invisible microphones following her from her workplace at Denny's, and that they were on the wall. And she put tape on the wall and on the ceiling all over the house to cover it up. And after that, there was, she came home and the tape was removed. And then she came home and, well, before that, she was yelling at her phone, turn off, turn off. And I asked her what the problem was. And she said, well, the technology from Denny's is that you sit in the booth and something gets in your ear. And then if you want it to stop, you have to yell, turn off. So she was yelling, turn off all morning at home. And then the last night she came home after the tape had been removed, and she became very psychotic and violent. And she aggressively barricaded my bedroom door from the outside using cardboard boxes. And when I opened the door, she began brandishing her phone and filming or seeming to film me and saying the FBI's outside, the FBI's outside. And so for my own safety, I began recording her. And I was calmly telling her I was not against her, whatever she is imagining that's not true and not real, because I could see that something was going on. But when I went into the kitchen, she physically attacked me. I'm twice her age. She knocked me down several times. And then she was looking at her phone like she was watching the videos of me falling down, and she was like dancing a jig. And the last time my arm was sliced open, and she was just smiling about that. And so I believe that she really needs psychiatric help and watching how this progressed.
All right, so thank you for the information, ma'am. There's little I can do right now in terms of court-ordered psychiatric care. My only issue right now is to enter pleas of not guilty. Actually, let me go back. This isn't even a city court charge, so my really only issue right now is to inform defendants of what their charges are and to set conditions of release. She will see a Pima County Justice Court judge shortly, and those issues might be better addressed with that judge. Are you asking that, regardless of her release conditions, do you want to have contact with Ms. Pernick?
No, I do not. I would like to have, I don't know what forms I need to fill out, but I did fill out a petition for an order of protection, number 478466.
No, ma'am.
There's a, okay.
That's fine. And that's a different issue, ma'am. So I'm going to order Ms. Pernick that you have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, that you, if you do post your bond, that you do not go back to their residence or her workplace. If you have belongings there and you post bond, you may go back once with a law enforcement escort to pick up the belongings. I'm going to hold you, ma'am, on a $500 cash bond. I'm going to set court for June 11th, that's tomorrow, in front of Judge Foreman at 1 p.m. I'm gonna appoint Christian Salter to represent you in that matter, ma'am.
Christian Salter.
And
Okay, thank you.
May I say one more thing, Your Honor?
You may, ma'am.
Yes, also for protection for my parrot, my beloved parrot of 21 years, because she asked me things like, how much does it cost? And, you know, I just want to make sure that there's protection for my parrot as well.
All right. Well, if the parrot's yours, ma'am, she can only, if she goes back to your home, she can only get her required belongings. She can't have any of your things, including your pets.
I know.
Okay.
I understand.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You're excused. You're both excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wilcoxon.
Thank you. Your name, please.
Jolene Wilcoxon.
All right, Ms. Wilcoxon, I'm seeing you, ma'am, on Justice Court charges for disorderly conduct. I'm going to release you, ma'am, on your promise to go to court. That court date will be July 7th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Pesquera in Pima County Justice Court.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're excused, ma'am. That's all.
Oh, thank you very much.
Looking up predictable. I suggest he's making some look for them. Thank you.
Are you Mr. Branch, sir?
I am.
This is the time set for your initial appearance. We're going to go over your charges and conditions of release. Before we do that, No, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. So, sir, I am seeing you on charges alleging that you have, sorry, let me begin again. I'm seeing you on a petition to revoke your probation, sir. The city attorney's office has petitioned to revoke your probation, alleging that you have violated your conditions of probation. Sir, I'm going to set a hearing in front of Judge Blue on June 17th at 1:45 p.m. I'm going to deny the allegations on your behalf that you have violated probation. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500 with cash or secured. Order that if you do post bond, sir, you don't go back to any incident location where you've been trespassed from. And appoint the city PD's office to represent you on these charges, sir. And with that, sir, you're excused.
Cox.
Your name, please, sir?
Three Cox.
Mr. Cox, I am seeing you on one charge of failing to appear on a charge of criminal trespass. Sir, I'm going to hold you on a $500 cash and secured bond set court for June 18th in front of Judge Mayhew. Appoint the city PD's office to represent you and order, sir, if you do post bond, you do not go back to the incident location where you were trespassed from. Let me also enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf, sir, and with that, you're excused, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia.
Name, please, sir.
Emilio Garcia.
Mr. Garcia, I'm seeing you on charges of 2 counts of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, and 1 charge of criminal damage. Sir, if I order you to have no contact with the alleged victim and not go back to their residence, will you agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll allow you to go back once with a law enforcement escort to pick up any required belongings, sir. Otherwise, I'll release you on your promise to go to court. That'll be on July 13th at 9:30 a.m. in front of Judge Mayhew. That's in Tucson City Court, okay, sir?
Okay.
Enter pleas of not guilty, sir, and with that, you're excused.
Thank you. Mr. Kells.
Your name, please?
Peter Kellens.
Keller, I'm seeing you on charges of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. Sir, if I order you not to go back to wherever the victim is residing or working, will you agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Oh. I'll release you, sir, on your promise to go to court July 14th in front of Judge Million. Do not go to the victim's residence or workplace, and no in-person contact, okay? Only through text, email, phone, all right, sir?
All right.
No, sir, with that, you're excused.
Mr. Skinner.
Your name, please, sir.
Francis Skinner.
Mr. Skinner, I'm seeing you on charges of criminal damage and disorderly conduct. Give me 1 second, sir, to re-review the pretrial services information. Sir, if I order you not to go back to the incident location and to have no contact with the alleged victim, will you agree to that?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Do you have belongings at that home, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'm going to set court, sir, for July 13th at 9:30 a.m. in front of Judge Mayhew and release you on your promise to go to court, understanding those conditions. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
You enter plea of not guilty on your behalf, sir, and you're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Harry. Okay. We got it.
Do I mind you finishing it? Oh, do what again?
Let's see. Section.
I did.
Okay.
Same attorney. I'll just put PD again.
And then the judge and Gabe.
Oh, I thought that was part of the same. Okay, hold on. Who was the judge?
Blue. And then three.
What time and what date? Oh, yeah, yeah. Sir, your name, please?
Harrington Jack Carey Jr.
All right. Mr. Carey, this is the time set for your initial appearance. You are presumed innocent. You can't be used against you. You have the right to an attorney, sir. I'm going to appoint Salam Takbali to represent you, sir. This is the time set on charges. This is the time set for us to discuss the charges, sir, of vulnerable adult abuse. The grand jury has asked me to impose a $7,500 bond. Counsel, my inclination is to honor that bond request, as I've done for the other co-defendants in this Attorney General case. Does either party wish to be heard?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, knowing your inclination, I would just note that this is an offense alleged to have been committed in 2023. But Mr. Carey has been a lifelong member of the community for more than 30 years. He is married. He has multiple kids, stable housing. We've asked for a nominal bond.
Right. So I've been imposing the bond set forth by the grand jury. Mr. Carey, they had more information than I do. Apparently, this was a very detailed, lengthy investigation. You'll have an opportunity, sir, to relitigate your bond amount with your attorney, Salam Takbali, at a future date. I'm going to set court on June 17th at 1:30 p.m. Impose that bond amount of $7,500. Order no contact with the alleged victims or their next of kin. And with that, sir, you are excused.
So my bond is 7,000, not 70,000, 75,000.
7,500.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, so when can you speak to me?
I'm not sure what his schedule's like.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your name, please.
Anthony Yanez.
I'm sorry, you say Antonio Miraz?
No, Anthony Yanez.
Anthony Yanez. All right, hold on, sir. All right, Mr. Yanez, this is the time set for initial appearance. You are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. Sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you on these charges. The state, sir, is asking for me to impose a $10,000 bond on charges of organized retail theft and robbery. Defense, did you wish to be heard?
Yes, Judge. We would note that Mr. Yanez is a lifelong member of the community. He does have stable housing with his girlfriend, and that his last prior, well, he does have priors knowing the free child services workup. The last one was from 2015. Given those factors, I would argue for a nominal bond.
I'm going to impose a $5,000 cash secured bond, sir. Order no contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the incident location. Set a preliminary hearing, sir, for June 22nd at 1:30 p.m. That date is unlikely to go, sir, so please stay in touch with your attorney with regards to what to expect, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir, you're excused.
Should be good to see you.
Fourth. Come on, 44. Yeah. Your Honor, is the interpreter on the line?
I see the Kinyarwanda interpreter. Is that Christian Hirwa?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can we do Mr. or Miss Javier Yamana?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Halva, are you ready to do the Spanish cases?
Your Honor, we're still waiting for an interpreter to be back. I can't assist you because I'm just the coordinator.
Okay, that's fine. Just let us know.
Okay, thank you so much.
Your name, please, sir.
Amazina yawe bakwita nde?
Bonita Habyarimana.
Bonit Habyarimana.
Mr. Javier Armana, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm going to discuss your charges as well as your release conditions.
Habyarimana, uyu ni wo mwanya wo kugira ngo bagusomere ibyo wagirizwa n'ibyo ugomba gukora kugira ngo urekurwe.
You're being charged, sir, with one charge of vulnerable adult abuse, a class 3 felony.
Uraregwa icyaha cyo guhohotera umuntu utishoboye udafite ubushobozi bwo kwivugira, akaba ari icyaha cya gatatu cyo mu cyiciro cy'ibyaha bikomeye.
You are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you.
Kuri ubu baragufata nk'umwere nk'aho kino cyaha wagirizwa kitaraguhama, ufise uburenganzira bwo guceceka kuko ivyo wavuga byose babikoresha bakwagiriza bino byaha.
You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you, and I will provide you with her phone number when you get the paperwork from the court, sir.
Ufise uburenganzira bwo guhabwa umuavoka, uhawe umuavoka witwa Janet Altschuler niwe uzaguhagararira, baraguha igikaratasi kiriho nimero yiwe y'isimu.
The grand jury, sir, has asked me to impose a $40,000 cash as secured bond. Counsel, that was my inclination. Does either party wish to be heard?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Ugomba kwishyura amadolari 40,000 kugira ngo urekurwe ube waburana uri hanze.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Knowing once again that your inclination is to impose the bond imposed by the grand jury, I would just note that the defendant does have stable housing. He's been a resident of the community for over 10 years. He does have full-time employment. Additionally, has no historical priors whatsoever. He would ask for a nominal bond.
Hanyuma uyu muavoka uraho iruhande rwawe arimo aravuga yuko bakugabanyiriza aya mafaranga ya bond ugomba kuriha kugira ngo uburane uri hanze kubera yuko urafise aho kuba uba ngaha nta n'ibindi vyaha wigeze ukora kubw'ibyo akaba asaba yuko bakugabanyiriza aya mahera.
Mr. Javier Armana, this was a lengthy investigation by the Attorney General's office. The grand jury has more information than me. You will have an opportunity to relitigate this bond condition at a future date with Ms. Altschuler, but I'm going to impose that $40,000 cash or secured bond.
Bwana Habyarimana barakoze itohoza kuri kino cyaha wagirizwa, kubw'ivyo ntabwo amafaranga umushingamanza ariwe yagabanye, ariko umunyamategeko baguhaye umuavoka ashobora kuzogufasha mukaba mwasaba yuko bayagabanya ukaba noneho ayo wakwishyura ukaburana uri hanze, ariko kuri ubu ntayo bagabanya.
I'm going to set court, sir, for June 17th at 1:30 p.m. and order no contact with the alleged victims or their next of kin.
Kuri ubu itariki yawe yo kuzitaba muri sentare ni ku itariki 17 z'ukwezi kwa gatandatu saa 7:30, ariko ntabwo wemerewe kuvugana n'uyu muntu wakoreye kino cyaha hamwe n'umuryango wiwe.
And with that, sir, you are excused.
Kubw'ivyo turahejeje kuri uyu munsi.
Ubu nta kintu ushobora kuvuga kuri uru rubanza.
So I'm not allowed to say anything about this case.
So you are, sir, two things. One, everything you say is being recorded, live streamed, and will be used against you.
Icyambere icyo wavuga cyose ngaha kubera bariko barafata amajwi n'amashusho ibintu byose wavuga hano bazobikoresha bakwagiriza kino cyaha muri sentare.
Two, you're going to have an opportunity to speak to your counsel, tell them everything you want, and then they will determine after speaking to you what they can share or should share with the court.
Hanyuma icya kabiri nuko uzahura n'umuavoka wawe ukamusobanurira buri kintu cyose hama agaca kubwira uburyo mwakemuramo bino wagirizwa.
At this time, there's nothing you can say that will change my initial inclination to grant the grand jury's bond, and everything you can say might end up hurting your case, sir.
Kuri ubu nta kintu icyo ari cyo cyose wovuga cyahindura umwanzuro umushingamanza yafashe, kandi ibindi wanavuga hano hari igihe baza babishingiraho bakwagiriza kino cyaha bakwagiriza muri Senate.
Understanding all of that, sir, do you wish to speak?
Nyuma yo kumva bino byose uracyashaka kugira icyo uvuga?
So ndumva ko urubanza ruri izo tariki bavuze kandi n'ibyo navuga cyose nta kintu cyohindura mu rubanza urumva kugira ngo ibisabwa nuko turindira muri ico gihe cy'urubanza mutazasigura uburyo buhanitse hama hazavuga n'umucamanza wanje.
At this point, I don't think anything I say will change anything. I just have to wait for my next court date and meet with my attorney and see what can be done.
I think that sounds like a good idea, sir.
Nuko nguko bimeze.
Your excuse, sir.
Urahejeje?
Jail, we're trying to get a Spanish interpreter from our courthouse as well. We're all waiting.
May the interpreter be excused?
Yes, Mr. Hirowa, thank you. Jail, we have a Spanish interpreter who's present in our courthouse, so we can do the Spanish matters.
Hey, I'll bring Mr. Ramirez back in, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Good morning again, Mr. Ramirez.
Muy buenos días otra vez, señor Ramírez.
Can you hear our Spanish interpreter?
¿Nos puede escuchar por medio de la intérprete?
Sí. Yes.
All right. Mr. Ramirez, I think I saw you last night, didn't I?
Señor Ramírez, me parece que yo lo vi anoche, ¿es correcto?
Sí.
Es correcto.
All right. I wish we had this information last night, sir. I'm sorry that we keep on dragging you to court.
Mire, me hubiera gustado que hubiéramos tenido esta información anoche para no tenerlo que traer otra vez aquí a la sala.
Okay.
Thank you.
Today I'm seeing you, sir, on a Santa Cruz County case.
El día de hoy usted está aquí por un caso de Santa Cruz County.
There was a warrant for your arrest in the amount of $5,000, sir.
Hay una orden de arresto por la cantidad de $5,000 en su contra, señor.
I'm going to honor that requested bond amount.
Y voy a honrar esa petición de esa fianza de los $5,000.
And set court for July 10th at 9 a.m. in this courthouse.
Y voy a poner una audiencia para el día 10 de julio a las 9 de la mañana en este tribunal.
The purpose of this July 10th court date, sir, is so that if you finish with your Pima County cases, you're not just floating around in the jail, waiting for Santa Cruz to do something. We'll have eyes on you.
Y mire, la razón por la que le he puesto esta audiencia para el día 10 de julio es para que entonces, si usted termina con sus casos aquí en el condado de Pima, pues el Tribunal de Santa Cruz sepa que usted tiene ya una audiencia.
Understood, sir?
¿Me entendió?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, your excuse, sir. Thank you.
Entonces, eso es todo, señor. Muchas gracias. Se puede retirar.
Thank you.
One more. Your name, please, sir.
Su nombre, por favor.
Antonio Meraz López.
Disculpe, dígame otra vez.
Antonio Meraz López.
Antonio Meraz López.
So, Mr. Meraz, is Meraz your middle name, sir?
Señor, Meraz, ¿es su segundo nombre?
Es apellido.
It's my last name.
Okay, so it's Antonio Lopez Maraz.
Entonces es Antonio López Meraz.
No, Antonio Meraz López.
No, it is Antonio, first name, Meraz, last name, López, last name.
For your initial appearance, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you.
Señor López, entonces esta es su comparecencia inicial. Usted tiene el derecho a permanecer en silencio. Todo lo que diga usted se puede usar en su contra.
I'm going to address your charges with you as well as your conditions of release.
Le voy a decir cuáles son los cargos en su contra, también cuáles son las condiciones de libertad.
Know that I have reviewed information from law enforcement as well as pretrial services.
Y sepa que yo ya he revisado la información que me dio los agentes del orden público y también de servicios preprocesales.
I will also hear from the prosecutor who is on Microsoft Teams as well as your attorney who is sitting next to you.
Y también voy a escuchar lo que tenga que decir el fiscal, el cual está compareciendo por medio de Teams, y también lo que tenga que decir el abogado representándolo el día de hoy, el cual está sentado ahí a un lado de usted.
The prosecutor is asking me to impose a $250,000 bond.
El fiscal está pidiendo una fianza de $250,000.
My inclination, counsel, for both parties was a $150,000 bond.
Say that again, Your Honor.
My inclination was a $150,000 bond.
Yo estoy inclinado a darle una fianza de $150,000.
Ms. Goodman, did you wish to be heard first?
Your Honor, with the court's inclination, there's nothing further from the state.
Entonces el juez preguntó a la señorita fiscal si ella quiere decir algo primero. Su señoría, a lo que usted ha dicho, no tenemos nada más que agregar.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, knowing the court's inclination, we would just note that Mr. Lopez has no felony history whatsoever, no criminal history whatsoever. He's a 1 across all scales, and he does appear to have employment and some family support. We would ask for a more nominal bond, somewhere in the realm of $50,000.
Su señoría, mire, no tenemos más nada que decir, pero quiero que sepa que el señor López no tiene ningún caso de delito grave, ni tampoco no tiene ningún récord criminal. Él es uno en todos los sentidos y también él tiene un empleo y tiene el apoyo de su familia. Así es que estaríamos pidiendo una fianza mínima.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to impose the $150,000 bond.
Señor López, entonces yo voy a imponer la fianza de $150,000.
Order you have no contact with the alleged victim.
Y voy a ordenar que usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con la supuesta víctima.
You are not to return to wherever the victim resides.
Usted no puede regresar a donde vive la supuesta víctima.
And you may have no contact with minors. No contact with children.
Y usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con menores de edad.
Defense, would you like me to read to Mr. Lopez what his charges are or waive reading?
Señor abogado defensor, ¿usted gusta que yo lea los cargos al acusado o renuncia usted a la lectura de los cargos? Sí, su señoría, renunciamos a la lectura de los cargos.
Mr. Lopez, with that, then you are excused.
Señor López, entonces, dicho esto, se puede usted retirar. Su señoría, ¿cuándo es la próxima audiencia? No sé si usted puso una próxima audiencia, la programó.
June 22nd at 1:30.
Es el 22 de junio a la 1:30 de la tarde.
That court date, sir, is unlikely to go, so you'll be in touch with your attorney to determine what the next step is for you.
Tal vez esa fecha cambie, señora, si es que esté en contacto usted con su abogado y su abogado le va a dejar saber si cambia o no cambia la fecha.
¿Puedo preguntar algo?
May I ask something?
So you may, sir, but everything you say is being recorded and live streamed and will be used against you.
Puede usted hacerlo, señor, pero recuerde que todo lo que usted diga aquí se está grabando y también todo se está, se está por videos, todo se está viendo y se está divulgando.
Your Honor, I believe that we are all.
Yes, sir.
Se puede retirar, señor. Muchas gracias.
Jill, can we confirm that was the last of the Spanish speakers?
That is correct, Your Honor. Last of the Spanish speakers.
Ms. Grijalva, thank you. You all can be excused too.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Why are you going to go like that?
Sir, are you Mr. Barney?
Yes, I am.
For the jail to allow all the individuals who are going to be sitting down for court to be situated. Jail, do we have all the felony initials? Okay, thank you, Jail. All right.
We do your all with the exception of Mr. C. Matt.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time set for your initial appearance. We're going to go over your charges and your release conditions, but first let me go over some background information as well as your rights. First, you have the right to, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can be used against you and is currently being live streamed and broadcast and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'll be appointing you an attorney on your cases. All of you who are here on felony charges will get an attorney. If you have misdemeanor charges, you may get an attorney. When you come before me, I will let you know. You also have an attorney right now to assist you in these proceedings. The state's being represented by Ms. Goodman. She is present over Teams. Your attorney is going to be sitting right next to you. Before I go over your charges and conditions of release, know that I've reviewed information from law enforcement as well as pretrial services, and I'll take arguments from both the state and the defense. Thank you, Jail. Mr. Barney, I am seeing you, sir, on one charge of criminal damage. The state's asking that I release you, sir, on your, release you, sir, to pretrial services. I will do that, sir. I'm going to order no contact with the alleged victim. Will you agree to that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I'll release you to pretrial services. Your next court date, sir, is June 30th at 1:30 p.m. I'm going to appoint the PD's office to represent you. And with that, sir, you're excused.
Keep the public defense. It's a couple of days. So you usually takes about. Okay. Perfect. I keep free to go. Yeah. All right. It's okay.
Your name, please, sir.
Cenceros.
Mr. Cisneros, I am seeing you, sir, on one charge of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, possession of narcotic paraphernalia, and sale of narcotic drugs in a school zone. The state is asking me to impose a $5,000 bond. Ms. Goodman, my inclination was to release Mr. Cisneros to pretrial services. Did you wish to be heard, ma'am?
Nothing further, Your Honor. The state defers. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cisneros, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You're going to have court on June.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Cisneros, I'm going to set court on June 30th at 10 a.m. I can just about promise you that court date's not going to go. All right. The important part is this: stay in touch with pretrial services, stay in touch with your attorney. They will tell you when and where to go to court. Understood, sir?
Sure.
That June 30th court date is really a deadline for the state to decide whether they want to charge you and to bring your case in front of a grand jury. They can ask for a preliminary hearing. They don't generally do that. I'm giving you all this information because you're going to get information from our court that says your next court date's in Ajo. Speak to your attorney in pretrial before you do that, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you're excused.
What agency was being appointed?
I'm sorry. Thank you. PD.
PD. Got it. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Get this number. So when I get home, we're going to get or I can give you my statement. You should get your practice file at least, yeah. Okay. If I need all of that for bills and stuff, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Your name, please, sir.
George and Maurice Chaplin.
Mr. Chaplin, I'm seeing you on charges of possession of a dangerous drug. State's asking me to impose a $3,000 bond and set a STEPS screening date. Before I go over your bond, sir, have you heard of the STEPS program, sir?
Yeah, not really familiar with it though.
All right, so the STEPS program is a program run between the county attorney and the courthouse. Essentially, it's a diversion-like program. If you do drug treatment and counseling required by the Superior Court, the CA's office will dismiss felony charges if they're simple possession charges. Do you want to consider doing that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first, I'm going to set a STEPS screening on June 17th at 9 a.m. Defense, my inclination was a $500 cash bond. Does either party wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Judge, knowing that's your inclination, we'll do it. We'll do that, Judge.
So, sir, I'm going to set that bond. There will be a screening on June 17th at 9 a.m. You're going to have a preliminary hearing on June 22nd. That latter date is unlikely to go, sir. If you are still in jail on June 17th and the jail brings you to court, I'd suggest you go. If you bond out, sir, you absolutely must go to the STEPS screening on June 17th at 9 a.m. or you won't be considered eligible for the program. All right, sir?
Judge, I do have a warrant out of Maricopa County for probation violation, so I don't want that. I don't want to miss out on this opportunity because I was supposed to have my probation transfer here to Pima County. So I don't want to miss out on that opportunity if I happen to be in Maricopa County.
I'm going to appoint the PD's office to represent you, sir. You can address this with them. As far as today goes, I don't see a probation hold. You're still on probation in Maricopa County as far as I can tell. So you'll want to address that with your probation officer and your attorney, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right, so you're excused.
Mr. Chavez?
Your name, please, sir?
Gabriel Chavez.
Mr. Chavez, I'm seeing you on a couple of cases. One is a Superior Court case for possession of a narcotic drug. The second is a Justice Court case, sir, for failure to appear on a driving on a suspended license charge. I also understand there's a adult probation hold. Counsel, my inclination was to hold Mr. Chavez on a $1,000 cash or secured bond, set a STEPS screening for June 17th at 9 a.m., set a preliminary hearing for June 22nd at 1:30 p.m., and appoint the legal defender's office. Does either party wish to be heard on conditions of release?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
I think enough to be found guilty. I was out of pretrial before. Similar, only the felon is the one I got out to start with.
All right, Ms. Chavez, on the misdemeanor matter, sir, I'm going to impose a $500 cash secured bond, sir, appoint Christian Salter, and set court for tomorrow, June 11th at 1 p.m. in front of Judge Pesquera. And with that, sir, you are excused.
Davis.
Your name, please, sir?
James Davis.
Say James Davis, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis, I'm seeing you on charges of possession of a narcotic drug and possession of paraphernalia. The state's asking
I think it's the
Sorry, my bad. Sorry, sir. I'm seeing you, sir, on charges of aggravated assault, domestic violence, and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. The state's asking for a $25,000 bond. Counsel, my inclination was a $20,000 bond. Does either party wish to be heard?
Now with the court's inclination, Your Honor, thank you. That will be based on the injuries the victim sustained.
That was my inclination and the future risk to the potential victim. Defense?
Yes, Judge, we would note that this offense was committed over 1 year ago. In that time, Mr. Davis has not had any further criminal complaints. We also note that he has no prior felonies, no prior misdemeanor domestic violence convictions. He does have stable housing with his father. That was provided by the pretrial services workup, who was lots of contact and welcoming Mr. Davis to return home. He does have full-time employment. With all that said, we would ask the court to entertain the trial release and the alternative, a nominal bond.
Joe, I didn't see that this was an offense that was over a year old. Hold on. Ms. Goodman, you don't have any information on, or do you have any information on why Mr. Davis was arrested now and this isn't a direct indictment?
I do not, Your Honor. I do see that the victim did get medical treatment. I don't know if that was part of the reason, but other than that, I have nothing further, Your Honor.
So the main reason I was going to impose that bond was because of the immediate threat to the alleged victim. Given that this offense is alleged to have occurred over a year ago, and the courts had no control over that factor in the past year, I will release Mr. Davis to pretrial services over the state's objection. I'm going to order, sir, that you have no contact with Jacqueline Moreno. Now I do have that authority. I'm going to order that you not go to Ms. Moreno's residence or workplace. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms and surrender any firearms in your possession to TPD or PCSO within 48 hours of your release, sir. I'm going to appoint the PD's office to represent you and set court, sir, for June 30th at 1:30 p.m. Sir, I am unsure if that court date's going to go. So stay in touch with your attorney as well as pretrial services to learn more about your next court date. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Oshkin.
Your name, please, ma'am?
Amanda Janowski.
All right, Mr. Janowski, I'm seeing you on charges of organized retail theft and trafficking and stolen property. The state ma'am is asking me to impose a $7,500 bond. Counsel, for both parties, my inclination was a $2,500 bond. Does other party wish to be heard?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the audio cut off. I didn't for the court.
My inclination, Ms. Goodman, was to impose a $2,500 cash secured bond.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Joe?
Yes, Your Honor. We would note that the defendant has only 2 priors, both of them are from 2011, over at the state, nearly 15 years old. Additionally, she does have housing available to her. I've just been informed that she's a full-time caretaker for her father, who needs her for daily around-the-clock activities such as eating. We would ask, given that, for pretrial services release, in the alternative, nominal bond.
All right, I'm going to impose that $2,500 cash secured bond, set court for June 22nd at 1:30 p.m. and appoint the public defender's office to represent you, ma'am. I'm not sure if that court is going to go, ma'am. It's unlikely, so please stay in touch with your attorney to know what to expect in the next couple of weeks. Your name, please, sir. Hey, Joe, you're muted.
Sorry, Judge. Roy Manor.
Manor, I'm seeing you on disorderly conduct for allegedly recklessly handling or displaying a dangerous weapon or deadly instrument. State's asking me to impose a $5,000 bond. Counsel, my inclination was to release Mr. Manor to pretrial services with orders not to possess firearms, to surrender any firearms in his possession or ownership of TPD or PCSO within 48 hours of his release, and to do any monitoring or treatment directed by pretrial services. Does either party wish to be heard?
Your Honor, the state submits to the court's inclination. The state's basis was the fact that from a verbal altercation, the defendant displayed recklessly the firearm. But that was the basis. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Manor, I'm going to set court for June 30th, 1:30 p.m. Appoint the PD's office. That court is unlikely to go, so please stay in touch with your attorney as well as pretrial services, to whose supervision you are being released today.
Sir, thank you.
You're excused.
It's Morrison.
Your name, please, ma'am.
Sarah Morrison.
Ms. Morrison, I'm seeing you in a couple of cases. One is for felony charges of burglary in the 3rd degree, possession of burglary tools, felony theft, criminal damage, trafficking of stolen property, possession of paraphernalia, and possession of narcotic drugs. I'm also seeing you, ma'am, on some city court charges for failing to appear. The state on the felony charge, ma'am, is asking me to impose a $20,000 bond. Counsel, my inclination was a $10,000 bond. Does either party wish to be heard?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Your Honor, we were just going to note that Ms. Morrison has no prior felonies. That will ask for a nominal bond, $10,000.
Ms. Morrison, over your attorney's objection, I'm going to impose that $10,000 cash and secured bond. Set court for June 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Appoint the legal defender's office. Order that you not go back to the incident location. And order, ma'am, that if you do get released, no pawning or resale activity while this case is pending.
Okay.
I'm also going to see you, ma'am, on the city court charges. On these, ma'am, I'm going to set a non-transport review hearing. I'm going to appoint the city PD's office, enter pleas of not guilty, and release you on these charges. Not to be cruel, ma'am, just so that the city PD's office can assist you with these cases With that, you need to go to court, okay, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
You're excused then.
Sweet. Okay. Mr. Rogas?
Your name, please?
Ernest Rogas.
Mr. Rogas, I'm seeing you on charges of possession of a dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, and shoplifting with an artifice. Since asking that I release you to pretrial services, I will do that, sir. I'm going to order so that you not go back to the incident location where you're alleged to have shoplifted from. I'm going to set court for June 30th at 1 p.m. in Green Valley Justice Court. Sir, that court date's unlikely to go, so please stay in touch with pretrial services as well as your attorney from the public defender's office, and you'll learn when you're expected to be in court.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir. You're excused.
I'm going to call that. Hang on 1 second. That's it. Still. Steven. Yeah. Oh, shit. There.
Your next, please, sir.
Okay.
Please.
Zachary Seaman.
Steven, I am seeing you, sir, for your initial appearance. You are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm seeing you on felony charges and misdemeanor charges, sir. Before we go over your charges and conditions of release, know that I've reviewed information by law enforcement from pretrial services, and I'll take arguments from both the prosecutor and your attorney who's sitting next to you. Sir, on the felony charges, I am seeing you on allegations that you were trafficking stolen property, committed burglary in the third degree, theft, criminal damage, and possession of burglary tools. The state of Arizona is asking that I impose a $20,000 bond. My inclination, counsel, is a $10,000 bond. Does either party wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Your Honor, once again, I just note that Mr. Seaman has no felony priors. He's been over 5 years.
Mr. Steven, I'm going to impose that $10,000 bond. Set court for June 22nd, sir, at 1:30 p.m. Order no pawning or resale activity. If you are released, sir, do not go back to the incident location. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. On your city court charges, sir, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. I'm going to set a non-transport review hearing for July 17th, appoint the city PD's office, and release you when you promise to appear on that case, sir. Not to be cruel, but just so I can set that non-transport review hearing. That way the city PD's office will assist you in the misdemeanor charges without you needing to go to court, okay, sir?
What does that mean?
So, sir, you're being held on a $10,000 bond on your felony case. That's really what it means right now. And you have 2 attorneys.
People in person. That means I'll be in jail until the bond. That means I'll be in jail for right now. It's the last place to get. I can't do free trial. Talk to your attorney. Talk to your attorney. Stop. Okay. When do I do that? Okay. You done?
All right, you're excused.
Okay.
Mr. Stevens?
Your name, please, sir.
Donald Stevens.
Stebbins, this is the time set for your initial appearance. Sir, I'm seeing you on charges of criminal trespass in the first degree and criminal damage. The state's asking that I impose the $3,500 bond plus pretrial release. Joe, what's your position, sir?
Your Honor, our position is that Mr. Stebbins has no prior felonies. He does seem to have available housing through his father. He's a life member of the community. Reading the interim complaint, this does seem to be potentially something related to a mental health episode. We would ask for pretrial release. And I would also note that he's a level 1 on the scales.
Mr. Stebbins, if I release you and order you not to go back to that incident location, do you agree to that?
Yes.
All right, over the state's objection, I'm going to release you, sir, for all services. Set court for June 30th. So, sir, no contact with the alleged victims, whoever owns that home. You can't go back there, okay, sir? I'm going to appoint the PD's office, set court, as I said, for June 30th at 1:30 p.m. So that court date's unlikely to go. It's really important that you stay in touch with your attorney as well as pretrial services. Otherwise, a warrant's going to issue for your arrest, all right? All right, sir, you're excused.
Thank you. Take both of these numbers and policies. That's for your attorney, legal agency, contact. Thank you.
Huh? Right, yeah.
Leslie?
Your name, please, sir.
Morning, Your Honor.
Your name, please, sir.
Sorry, Tyler Whistling.
Mr. Wesley, I'm speaking with sir on charges of possession of a narcotic drug, possession of narcotic paraphernalia, and possession of a firearm during a narcotics offense. The state, sir, is asking that I release you to pretrial services. That was my inclination, sir. I will do that. You're going to have court, sir, on June 30th at 10 a.m. Sir, that court date's highly unlikely to go. I'm going to appoint the PD's office to represent you. Sir, I'm also going to order that you not possess any firearms and surrender any firearms in your possession or ownership to TPD or PCSO within 48 hours of your release from jail. Sir, you got to stay in touch with pretrial services and your attorney to understand what to expect in the next few weeks. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. You're excused.
Thank you. Thank you.
You both make applications of conduct cases resolved. That's it. All right, awesome. Thank you. So there's no bond or nothing. I just feel it's
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Your name, please, ma'am?
Corey Young.
Ms. Young, I am seeing you on charges of aggravated identity theft and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's also allegations, ma'am, that you were on felony probation for similar offenses when you were arrested for these offenses. The state's asking for a $10,000 bond. Defense, what's your argument?
Your Honor, Ms. Young does appear to have housing available to her. It is noted that she's separated and the mom to 3 children. She does also appear to have employment. We would note that she is currently on probation and that I don't see any probation hold. There is a probation hold. Yeah, then apparently there is a probation hold. We would ask for a nominal bond in light of that.
Ms. Young, given the probation hold, it doesn't matter what bond amount I set. If you post a bond, you won't be released. I'll set a $5,000 cash and secured bond, set court for June 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Appoint the PD's office to represent you. Order no contact, ma'am, with the alleged victims. And advise you, ma'am, to stay in touch with your attorney so that you know what to expect in the next few weeks.
Okay.
With that, your excuse, ma'am.
Thank you.
To give us, it could be a chance. They're still possible. Okay. Thank you.
All right, folks, have a great day.
Okay.
Be seated.
The other one's in medical recovery.
Oh, they are bringing her in? Okay. Who's they bringing in?
Let's get your teams in and this will come down.
Do we have a county?
Yeah, they're. Which we gotta make sure that you know. No, she.
Oh, okay.
Number 11 here.
Oh,
You just
11 is here.
11 here, okay.
Shit.
Okay, and 20 is coming at the end, right, officers? You're gonna bring her, or we're going to
Yeah,
Mexico?
they should be bringing her before court ends, so she should be here.
Okay.
It's 20?
Yeah, well, you just move her down to the bottom. Scroll down and this little bit.
I'm at the bottom. I'm at the bottom.
I mean, go, just go right over.
John wants us to report, is that okay with you?
You want one?
Or to the court?
Or scan?
We just have to have somebody.
Right here before you do it, I'm gonna open it.
That's very.
You can do TV.
Why don't you want to be on TV?
Some of the monitors.
Yeah, mental health, some of the, it's on night, please, mental health, it's on night. Knock her out. That's. Yeah, I got you out.
Any LEP?
No.
Okay, good. No LEP. No interest.
Okay, so where do I see her at?
Just do join now. It's on the right. You always want your microphone muted. Yeah, do it muted. Okay, good. And now, because there's your
Right, okay.
All right, good morning. We're here on the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for June 10th, 2026. The court's orders for taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'm going to read the victim's rights advisement. If you are a victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. I am Commissioner Aragon. This is your initial appearance hearing. The court will decide if you're going to be held or released. If released, I will advise you of the conditions of your release. I will not go over every condition in your release. All of those conditions will be in writing and they will be handed to you before you leave. I will advise you of why you are arrested. I will not be deciding on whether the charges are whether or not you're guilty of those charges or not guilty. I only need to find probable cause in those allegations. The charges, if I find that there's no probable cause in those charges today, that does not mean that the charges will be dropped or that they are dropped. I'll be considering those allegations in determining your release, as well as your past criminal history and your history regarding past court appearances. I will also be providing you a public defender if you qualify. I will provide you with your next court dates. When I call your name, please come to the podium, and I will call the person next in line to have a seat right outside the door. All right, Lee Arthur Simmons, Jr., please come to the podium. Katrina Mendez, please have a seat right outside the door. Can you state your full name and address?
Lee Arthur Simmons.
I'm sorry, full name and date of birth.
Lee Arthur Simmons, Jr., 829-77.
Okay, and we also have present today the county attorney's office, Ms. Stutz. Can you make your appearance?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Brianna Stutz appearing on behalf of the state.
Okay, Mr. Simmons, you're here on 5 counts. The first count is murder in the second degree, a Class 2 felony, aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, aggravated DUI, a Class 4 felony, aggravated DUI with an interlock device, a Class 4 felony, and endangerment, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney for you. Okay, okay, Mr. Simmons, there is a slight change to what I told you. The murder second degree is a Class 1 felony. Okay, I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next court date will be June 16th at 8:31 a.m. and a preliminary hearing at 8:31 a.m. I'm going to set bond in the matter, but I want to hear what the county attorney has to say on bond.
Thank you, Judge. In this case, the state is recommending a $1 million bond based on the facts of the case and the defendant's criminal history. The defendant has routinely demonstrated to this court that he is a danger to the community based on his driving behaviors. In this case, the facts are that the vehicular crimes unit of the Phoenix Police Department, they were able to actually download the defendant's motor vehicle, download his airbag control module, and review his event data recorder. And that showed that he was driving at 96 miles per hour prior to the crash down Indian School, which is a 40-mile-per-hour zone on the street in the area that he was driving on Indian School Road. He caused the crash, where he rear-ended the back of the deceased victim's vehicle. This then pushed the defendant's vehicle and the victim's vehicle into the intersection at Indian School and 27th Avenue, where it ultimately caused a 7-vehicle collision in the intersection. As I mentioned, the person who was driving the vehicle that the defendant rear-ended was pronounced deceased due to injuries that he sustained in this crash. There were also multiple people in those other vehicles and pedestrians on the sidewalk who were injured by the defendant's crash, and the people who were endangered by the defendant's crash. After the crash, what the state is extremely concerned about is that the defendant had to be removed from his vehicle. He was fighting with officers. There was actually a civilian witness who was on scene who provided video footage to news, and it was on the news this morning and last night. And it shows the defendant fighting with 4 different officers. They ultimately have to lift him up and place him into the patrol vehicle. So that's extremely concerning to the state, given that he was resisting these multiple officers after he had just caused this serious 7-vehicle crash. When officers did contact him, including a drug recognition expert, somebody who's trained in detecting signs and symptoms of possible drug impairment, they noted different symptoms consistent with the use of, they believe, PCP and also alcohol on the defendant. He had bloodshot, watery eyes. He had a strong odor of alcohol that was coming from him. He had a very dazed appearance with law enforcement. He was not feeling any, he was not feeling their contact with him or any pain while they were talking to him. And he showed signs and symptoms that were consistent with being under the influence of PCP, of drugs, and both of alcohol. At this time, the defendant did not even have a valid driver's license. He never should have been operating a motor vehicle. His driver's license was suspended because he failed to calibrate his ignition interlock device. So he was under an ignition interlock device requirement, meaning he had to have a start device in his vehicle due to his prior DUI offenses. I also want to note for the court that this intersection is a very busy intersection. This crash happened at noon in the middle of the day, where the defendant is driving at this speed, and there's numerous bus stops on every corner of this intersection. It's heavy pedestrian. It's a heavy pedestrian area. There were lots of people around, lots of businesses nearby, especially given its close proximity to the I-17 freeway. The state's also recommending this bond amount based on the defendant's criminal history. This is not the defendant's first DUI ever related offense. The defendant has 4 prior DUI offenses. He has 3 prior misdemeanor DUIs from 2002 and then 2 from 2011. He also has a felony aggravated DUI from 2015. In that 2015 case, the defendant was driving while under the influence of PCP, and he ultimately was sent to prison for 10 years on that offense. He got out of prison after 10 years. He was placed on community supervision. He was off of his community supervision only in July of 2024, so about 2 years ago. And now here he is again before the court, operating his motor vehicle at insane speeds while he's impaired. And he clearly has not learned his lesson about the harm of impaired driving and what it can do to the community. The only difference between this offense and the one from 2015 is now that the defendant has killed somebody. Aside from his strong DUI criminal history, he also has 10 prior felony convictions. He has prior felony convictions for kidnapping, for unlawful flight, for possession of dangerous drugs, for aggravated assault. And while he was in the Department of Corrections, he has a long history of discipline, including positive UAs, assaults on staff members, and he committed 3 felony offenses of promoting prison contraband while he was in the Department of Corrections. Based on all of this, the facts of the case, the defendant's criminal history, his DUI criminal history, the state is recommending a $1 million bond and believes it's appropriate because the defendant clearly has not learned his lesson, and now he has taken the life of a person in our community. If he is released, the state is going to ask that the requirements of pretrial services with alcohol testing and drug testing be placed on him, an electronic monitor, and an order that he's not to operate a motor vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Right. Make sure I got everything. Okay. All right, Mr. Simmons, based on the county attorney's recommendation on review of the case, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $1 million. If you do get released, if you do post that bond, you're going to be under pretrial services supervision, where you will undergo alcohol testing and drug testing and have an electronic monitor installed. You shall not be released from the jail until the electronic monitor has been installed. You may not leave your home except during the hours set by the pretrial officer. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any victims or witnesses or the arresting officers. You may not have any contact with any alleged victims' family members. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs or alcohol. You must notify the court of any new address, and you may not drive a motor vehicle. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please take a step to your left and gather your paperwork. Thank you, counsel. You may be excused.
Thank you.
Katrina Mendez. Okay. Can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Katrina Marta Mendez, 11/20/81.
Okay, Ms. Mendez, you are here on an out-of-county warrant up in Yavapai County Superior Court. I'm providing you with the public defender. Your next hearing will be June 15th at 8:30 a.m. at the Yavapai County Superior Court. So the Yavapai County has set a bond amount, and they are going to extradite. The bond amount is $25,000. You will not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers. You may not possess any weapons, consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and you must notify the court of any new address. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, please take a step to your left, and the officer will give you your paperwork. Rosie Duran and Roy Manuel, you are next. Okay, Ms. Duran, can you please state your full name? Have it right in front of the podium there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you please state your full name and your date of birth?
Rosie Jane Duran, and my date of birth is 2/12/63.
Okay, you also have an out-of-county warrant out of Yavapai County Superior Court.
Yes.
It is a failure to appear warrant. Your next hearing date will be June 15th at the Yavapai County Superior Court. The bond amount set by Yavapai County is $25,000, and they will extradite. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, contact any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You are not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you must notify the court of any new address. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Please take a step to your left, and the officer will give you your report. Roy Manuel. Right. Mr. Manuel, you're here on 4 different matters. I'm going to start from the bottom, move my way up.
4?
Yeah, I'll let you know. Can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Yeah, Roy Manuel.
Okay.
0/16/2003.
Okay, so 3 of those matters are for probation violations.
4?
3 of those matters are for
No, I
probation.
meant like from out here.
From Superior Court, yeah. Let me go through. So the first one is probation violation. I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next hearing will be on June 17th at the Superior Court at 8:30 a.m. and possible disposition hearing at the same time. I'm placing a secured bond in the probation violation of $50. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. I'm going to go over those releases because you got 4 of these. They're all going to be the same. All right, the next one. Next one is also a probation violation warrant. Again, I'm providing you with a public defender. Your probation revocation hearing is on June 17th at 8:30 in the morning. You'll also have a possible disposition hearing.
Okay.
You're gonna have a secured bond in that case, again, for $50. The third probation violation is also at a Superior Court. I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next court date is again June 17th at 8:30 at Superior Court. Bond amount in the amount of $50.
And is that all concurrent, or is it $50 each?
It's $50 each, and this is your new municipal court case out of Surprise. You're here today because of the allegations are disorderly conduct and fighting. You could have a public defender appointed at the next hearing. Your next hearing on that is June 16th at 1:30 p.m. in the Superior Municipal Court, and your bond amount is set at $5,000. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You may not initiate any contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs without a valid prescription, drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and you must notify the court of any new address.
Is that $5,000 cash?
It's a secured bond.
So all I need is $500. Right?
Well, I don't work for a bonding company, but you can call them.
It's not cash?
It's not a cash bond, it's a secured bond.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, please take a step to your left. Charleston Claw and Mariah Smith Perez, you're on deck. Morning, Mr. Claw. Can you please state your full name and date of birth?
My name is Charleston Claw. My date of birth is 2/15/70.
Okay, Mr. Claw, you're here on 3 allegations: assault with intent to cause injury, class 1 misdemeanor; disorderly conduct, fighting, class 1 misdemeanor; and preventing or interfering with telephone using it in an emergency, a class 2 misdemeanor. I'm providing you with a public defender. I'm setting a secured bond in your case in the amount of $1,500. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers. And you may not reside at the same location as the alleged victim. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address, and you must obey the terms of any orders of protection or injunctions against harassment. Do you understand?
Yeah, can I bring the money back on Friday? That's when I get paid.
No, sir. It's
Because right now I don't have any money.
I understand, but in order for you to be released, you have to post that bond first. Okay. Please take a step to your left and gather your paperwork. Mariah Perez and Alex Zimmerman, you're on deck. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Mariah Rebecca Smith Perez, December 6, 2000.
All right, Ms. Perez, you're here on a probation violation. I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next hearing will be a probation revocation hearing and possible disposition hearing on June 17th at 8:30 at the Superior Court. I'm providing a secured bond in the amount of $250. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, initiate contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you must notify the court of any new address. And if you are released, you're to notify your probation officer within 72 hours.
When was the next court date?
It's the 17th. It's Wednesday.
Officer, we're going to reprint this one.
Okay. All right, let me make sure nothing. Okay. Hold on a minute. Oh, I did take it. All right, you should be good to go. All right, please take a step to your left and gather, and the officer will get your paperwork. We have to reprint it. Alexis Zimmerman and West.
Yeah, I gotta be something.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay.
And Wesley Wagner, you're on deck. This. Only four? Okay. And the other ones are. Okay, Ms. Zimmerman, can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Alexis Renee Shepard Zimmerman, December 10th, 1998.
All right, ma'am, you're here on 4 different warrants out of Peoria Municipal Court. The first one is for shoplifting and assault, both class 1 misdemeanors. I'm providing you with a public defender. You have an arraignment hearing on June 16th at 9 a.m. at the Peoria Municipal Court. That set a bond at in the amount of $500. The second one is criminal trespassing, class 3 misdemeanor. Again, I'm providing you with a public defender. Your court date will be the same, June 16th at 9 a.m. at Peoria Municipal Court. Bond amount in that matter is set at $500. The third is municipal court, again out of Peoria. Possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting arrest by passive resistance, and failure to obey a police officer, all class 1 misdemeanors. You have a public defender. It's going to be the same court date and time, and also at Peoria Municipal Court. The last one is also out of Peoria. You have a warrant out for assault with intent to injure, a class 1 misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct, and class 1 misdemeanor. You've been, your next court date will be June 16th at 9 a.m. And the bond amount will be set at $500. On all these, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to have any contact with victims, witnesses, or the arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs without a valid prescription, not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and do not leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, please take a step to your left. Okay, so All right. Okay. Wesley Wagner,
Yes, sir.
can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Wesley Allen Wagner. Can I say one thing before we start?
Let me get through this first, and I'm going to remind you, if it has anything to do with your cases or anything,
Right.
this is all being recorded. So
No,
anything
no.
you say can be used against you.
Of course.
But let me get through this, all right? Because you're here on 3 different matters.
I've already dealt with these matters. These are old. I've been here before. These are like over a year old. I've been here 2 months ago, and I've taken care of these matters
All right,
already.
hold on. All right, Mr. Wagner, let me get through this, all right? Okay. You have a Justice Court warrant out of University Justice Court for criminal trespassing. You're going to be provided a public defender. Your next court date is June 15th out of University Lakes Justice Court. The bond amount in that is $100. The next one is also a Justice Court warrant out of University Lakes. Again, criminal trespassing. You're going to be provided with a public defender, and it's the same court date, June 15th at 8:30 a.m. at University Lakes Justice Court. Your bond amount is $100 on that. And finally, you have the third warrant out of University Justice Lakes Justice Court. This is for criminal trespass in the 2nd degree and possession of drug paraphernalia, class 1 misdemeanor. County defender has been provided. You have an arraignment hearing on June 15th at 8:30 a.m. at University Lakes Justice Court.
Right here.
Your bond amount in that is $100. And for these 3 warrants, you're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you must notify the court of any new address.
Okay.
And I understand what you're telling me.
Yeah, because I've been here like 3 times on this matter. I spent 2 months.
Okay.
I spent 2 months last year. 2 months ago.
Right.
This matter has already been taken care of like 3
Okay.
or 4
Well,
times.
That's not what I have. Okay. And I can only go with what I have. I'm not deciding whether or not you showed up to court or whether you didn't. I'm simply here telling you.
Well, how many times do they want me to show up to court?
You'll have to. Hold on a minute.
I've showed up to court in
Don't talk.
custody. I've showed up in court.
All right. I've told you what you need to turn to your left and gather your paperwork. Nicholas Mathis and Ernestine Lupe, you are on deck. Sleep. Mathis is asleep.
I don't know if they look like he's on it. I'll tell you right away. He used to do like we should bring up age clothes.
All right.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. Can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Nicholas Lorenzo Mathis, 5/9/1992.
Okay, Mr. Mathis, you're here on a new case out of the West McDowell Justice Court. Your allegations are possession of dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony, and resisting arrest. I'm finding no probable cause on the drug possession or the drug paraphernalia. However, I am finding probable cause on the passive resistance, resisting arrest. I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next court date will be June 16th at 8:30 at the Superior Court, and a preliminary hearing on June 18th, also at Superior Court. I'm providing you with a bond amount in the amount of $50, and you have one more. You have probation violation. Okay, and that is also out of the Superior Court. You're going to be provided with a public defender. Your next hearing on that is a probation revocation hearing on June 17th at 8:30, and possible disposition hearing at that same time. I'm providing a secured bond amount in your probation violation for $500. And for both cases, you are not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a prescription. Hold on. Not to drive a motor vehicle without a driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you must notify the court of any new address. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Do you have a question?
Oh, so I can't get OR at all?
No, sir, you can't. Your probation officer said no.
My probation officer
Yeah,
said
so
no?
you need to contact him. Okay, please take a step to your left. Gather your paperwork. Ernestine Lupe? Please state your full name and date of birth.
Ernestine Lupe, 11/18/95.
Okay, ma'am, you're here on 3 different probation violations. And they are all out of Superior Court. Okay, so we'll go through these one at a time. For the first one, you are being provided a public defender. Your next court date will be June 17th at 8:30 in the morning with possible disposition hearing also at that same time. I'm setting the secured bond amount in the amount of $750 in that one. Second one, probation violation. Again, provided a public defender. Your next probation revocation hearing is, like I said, it's going to be at the same time, June 17th, possible disposition hearing at the Superior Court. You have a secured appearance bond in that matter of $750. And your final one is the third probation violation. It's going to be the same time and date for your hearings, probation revocation hearing on June 17th at 8:30, and a possible disposition hearing. Superior Court bond amount is $750 in that one as well. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime. You are not to initiate contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a driver's license, and do not leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You understand? Okay. Turn to your left, and the officer will give you a paperwork. Tad first, and Anakin Robinson, you're on deck. First, can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Ted First, 6/13/1986.
All right, Mr. First, you've been, your allegations are organized retail theft of merchandise, class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony, false reporting to a law enforcement officer, a class 1 misdemeanor, theft and control of stolen property, a class 1 misdemeanor, theft and control, and another count of theft and control of property, class 1 misdemeanor. You've been provided a county defender. Your next court date will be June 16th at 8:31 a.m. at the Superior Court building, and you have a preliminary hearing at the same time. I'm providing a secured bond in the amount of $50. However, you have a U.S. Marshal Service hold on you, so you can post that $50 bond, but they're going to put a hold on you, and the Marshal Service are going to come and get you. So it's up to you whether you want to do that. I'd suggest you contact an attorney if you're thinking about it, but like I said, the Marshal Service has a hold on you. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, initiate contact with any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Cannot leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address. Do you understand, sir? All right, please take a step to your left. Got your paperwork. Anakin Robinson and Jada Pass, you're on deck. All right, Mr. Robinson, please state your full name and date of birth.
Anakin Robinson, 4799.
All right, Mr. Robinson, you're here on 3 counts, alleged dangerous drug possession, class 4 felony, narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next court date will be June 16th at 8:30 at the Superior Court Building. You have a preliminary hearing on June 18th at 8:30, also at the Superior Court Building. I'm setting a bond amount of $500. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address. Do you understand? You just take a step of your life. Thank you. Jada Pass and Andrew Cohen, you're on deck. Can you please state your full name and date of birth?
November 28, 1998, and Jada Lynn Pass.
Okay, Jada, you're on a probation violation. I'm providing you with a public defender. You've got your next court date is going to be June 17th at the Superior Court at 8:30 a.m. with a possible disposition hearing at that same time. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $300. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, contact any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. Hold on, let me finish. Not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive any motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You must notify the court of any new address and contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
And what's a secured appearance bond?
It's a secured appearance bond. It's not a cash bond. Cash bond means you have to come up with $300 cash. Secured means that you can, I don't know if they'll do one that low, but you can contact a bail bondsman and work something out with them. Okay, please take a step to your left and gather your paperwork. Andrew Cohen and Edward Mathis, you're on deck. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Cohen, can you please state your full name and date of birth?
1/5/66, Andrew Gary Cowan.
Okay, Mr. Cowan, you're here on a probation violation. I'm providing you with a public defender. Your next court date will be June 17th, 8:30 a.m. at the Superior Court. You will have a possible disposition hearing at that time. I'm going to go with what the bond amount was set. It's $100. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You may not possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You may not drive without a valid driver's license. You're to notify the court of any new address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You understand?
Yeah, real quick, sir. Since the 27th of January, my mom has been through, she's dodged 3 bullets. A fire, we've been through aneurysms, blood clot, and being homeless. And
all right. Well, sir, let me stop you. Your bond is only $100. If it were up to me, it would be more because it's probation violation. So if I were you, I wouldn't argue about the.
No, I'm just letting you know about my mom.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about your mother.
My mom's, and just the other day, her blood pressure was 100.
All right, sir,
very high.
I understand, but I've got some other people I have to get to. So please take a step to your left and gather your paperwork. Thank you.
Oh, do I have to get $100 to get out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Edward Mathis and Tyler Evans, you're on deck. Mr. Mathis. All right, Mr. Mathis, you are, please state your full name and date of birth.
Edward James Mathis. I was born on July 26, 2005.
All right, Mr. Mathis, you're here on 3 counts of disorderly conduct.
3.
With an, I guess, I assume it's an aggressive gesture. Your next court date is going to be June 30th at Peoria Municipal Court. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance.
Okay. No bond or anything?
No, but you're a young man and I don't like the direction that you're headed. So when you go to court, you know, they've offered services and all that kind of stuff. I suggest you take, because you're young enough to turn this stuff around. All right. And I don't want to see you back here. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers, and you're not to reside at the same location of any alleged victim. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs or alcohol without a possess or consume any drugs without a prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle. You must notify the court of any new address, and you must obey any orders of protections or injunctions against harassment. You understand? It'll all be in your paperwork.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't live there anymore, basically? Or not right now?
Not with the case pending.
Okay.
Okay. Please take a step to your left.
Thank you, Judge.
I know. I had. Tyler Evans and Paris Garcia, you're on deck. All right, Mr. Evans, please state your full name and date of birth.
Tyler James Evans, 315-99.
Okay, Mr. Evans, you're here on 1 count of criminal damage, a class 1 misdemeanor. Your next court date is going to be at the Santan Justice Court on June 3rd at 9 a.m. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, contact any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you're to notify the court of any new address. Do you understand? Okay. Turn to your left, get to your paperwork. Paris Garcia and Amir Wilson, you're on deck. Mr. Garcia, please state your full name and date of birth.
Paris Santana Garcia, February 6, 2007.
Okay, you're here on 2 allegations: reckless driving, class 2 misdemeanor, and exceeding the posted speed by 20 miles per hour, class 3 misdemeanor. Your next court date is going to be June 30th at 9 a.m. Out of the Santan Justice Court, and I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. Although I read the allegations from the officers, and what you're doing, you could very well be here on another matter. Okay? I had a case the other day where a gentleman ended up killing a little kid, and now could be charged on second-degree murder. And I'm a car guy, and I know what it's like to drive vehicles fast. It's fun, but let me tell you, you can be driving that car as fast as you were going, and you could blow a tire. And if that happens, your car's out of control, and you could hit another car and kill somebody. And then you're here on murder 2. Not because you're not a bad driver, not because you have a car that you can handle, but because something unforeseen can happen, and it can happen that quick. So I'm giving you for the benefit of the doubt, and I hope you learn a lesson here. Don't push it. If you want to drive fast, there's plenty of tracks that'll let you do that. Go take your car out there. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. You're not to initiate contact with arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to consume any alcohol. And you're not to drive a motor vehicle with a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you must notify the court of any new address. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You hear what I said today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please take a step to your left. Take your paper. Yeah, that one copy. Said that one copy. Mr. Wilson, please state your full name and date of birth.
I'm Mary Mark Wilson, 9/12/2006.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, you're here on shoplifting, a class 1 misdemeanor. Your next court date is going to be July 7th at a Surprise Municipal Court. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, contact any complainants, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do not leave the state, and you must notify the court of any new address. Do you understand? Okay. Just take a step to your left and get your paper. William Sturgeon and Sharon Hogue. You're on deck, Sharon. Mr. Sturgeon, can you please state your full name and date of birth?
My name is William Scott Sturgeon. My date of birth is 9/6/75.
Okay, sir, you've got a warrant out of Graham County and probation violation. Your next court date is going to be June 15th at 8:30 in the morning in Graham County. And because of your probation officer has requested you not be released, they're going to probably come and get you. You're not bailable as a matter of right. So you are not to, if you are released at any time, you're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime, contact any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription, or drive a motor vehicle without a driver's license. Do not leave the court. Do not leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address. And you, like I said, you have a no bond warrant out of Graham County, and they said that they are going to come and get you. So please take a step to your left and gather your paperwork. Ms. Hogue? Ms. Hogue, please state your full name and date of birth.
Sharon Hogue, 10/6/81.
Okay. Is that 1981?
Yes.
Okay. You're here on case out of Surprise Municipal Court, disorderly conduct, fighting, class 1 misdemeanor, and assault with intent to injure, class 3 misdemeanor. Your next court date is July 7th at the Surprise Municipal Court. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime. You're not to contact with any victims or witnesses. You're not to have any contact with any arresting officers, and you may not reside at the same location as any alleged victim. You're not to possess any weapons, possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription. You're not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and do not leave the state. You must notify the court of any new address, and you must obey the terms of any orders of protection or injunctions against harassment. Do you understand? Okay, thank you. Take a turn to your left. This is that's Joe. Okay.
No, wait, hey, if you need that, just hit the right button.
Officer. And we have to read the. Yes.
It'll be right there, but they go to the sticky go to the blue stick.
Oh, there you are.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Granato, can you please have a stand at the podium, please?
Yeah.
Okay, may I have your full name and date of birth?
Joe Granado, 7/31/75.
All right, Mr. Granato.
Yeah.
An arrest warrant has been issued by the state of New Mexico.
Yep.
That state has, wants you back on this warrant. Before the court, you were given some paperwork to review on a laminated card. Did you read that paperwork?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let me know. And your warrant is out of, I believe, San Juan County,
Yeah,
and it's on first degree sexual penetration in the first degree,
yeah,
causing great bodily harm
right, buddy.
and mental anguish.
And what?
And mental anguish.
What the hell?
Sorry. Just to clarify, it's great bodily harm or mental anguish.
What, can you say something? Actually, this is like,
No, that's okay. All right.
it's all new to me because I haven't been there in years. So.
Okay. All right. Well, they want you on a bond as a result of an allegation of sexual penetration.
Yeah, allegation. There you go.
In the first degree, resulting in great bodily harm or mental anguish. All right?
Yep.
Okay. So back to this.
So are they coming?
Well, hold on a minute. Okay. As I stated, you have a warrant from the state of New Mexico. You have a choice to make at this time. You can choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing and be sent to the requesting state within 30 days. Or you can demand an extradition hearing and that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you are sent back to the state of New Mexico. If you choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing, you would be held non-bondable in Maricopa County Jail for a period of up to 30 days to allow time for the requesting state to come and get you. That 30 days will start tomorrow. As long as you do not have any criminal charges pending against you in Arizona, if you did, then the 30-day period would not start until those charges are resolved. If you choose to have an extradition hearing, I will set a hearing. Hold on. I will set a hearing for you on June 22nd at 1:30 p.m. at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I cannot appoint an attorney to represent you because expedition matters are civil in nature.
So, okay.
Let me finish. I cannot appoint an attorney for you to represent you because an extradition matters are civil in nature, but you would have the right to hire an attorney at your expense if you choose. You are entitled to bail in this case. That would be in the amount. I didn't. Okay. All right. Right. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to set a bond in the amount of $100, but hold on a minute. Should I put? Okay. So because of the charges back in New Mexico, your cash bond amount is going to be $100,000.
What?
Yes. If you are unable to post your bail, you will be held in custody during that time or until another judge modifies your bail. A governor's warrant signed by the governors of both states is required to extradite you to New Mexico. That process could take up to 90 days. Then I go down here. So do you want to waive your rights or do you want to have an extradition here in Arizona?
Well, they're gonna come for me. I mean, I didn't do nothing. This is the second time, I know you don't have, but the second time that she's done this, accusation, the first time, and it was already investigated and there was
Right.
nothing.
I
Okay, but
understand. You're not,
it's really irritable to me, but,
right, you're not gonna fight the,
no, I'm waiting for them to come pick me up.
okay, so are you waiving then your rights?
Well, I guess if that's what it is.
Okay, I understand at this time, you do not want to.
I'm not fighting the extradition. They can come get me, yeah.
I got it. I just want to make sure I'm reading you the right thing.
Okay,
I understand at this time that you do want to sign the waiver of extradition. I need to ask you some questions as I am making a record of this proceeding. Did you read the waiver of the extradition paperwork?
yes,
Do you understand that you do not have to sign the paperwork?
uh-huh,
Do you understand that you have the right to an extradition hearing?
yes,
Say yes, please. Okay, yes or no? Okay. No, is that a yes?
that was a yes,
Do you understand that you have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense?
yes,
Do you understand that you have the right to demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you return?
yes.
Before you are returned to New Mexico? I'm going to say that again. I want to make sure you understand that.
You have to, what?
Okay, do you understand that you have the right to demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you are returned?
Okay.
Is that a yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to bail?
Yes.
Do you want to give up those rights and sign the paperwork? The paperwork waiving your rights to an extradition hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to sign the paperwork?
No.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the last 24 hours?
No.
Okay. I find that you knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily are signing the waiver, and I am also signing it. I am directing the sheriff's office to notify the requesting state that you are ready to return. The requesting state will have 30 days from tomorrow to pick you up unless there are local charges pending. If there are local charges pending, the 30 days will not start until the conclusion of that case. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you've got a pad right there that you're going to need to sign your name, and you're going to need to do it twice.
She'll tell you when.
These are just allegations. I'm not even, they're trying to charge me, but I don't understand that.
You're right. They're allegations, but that's stuff that you need to take care of in New Mexico, Arizona.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna get out of here as soon as possible, you know? What if that person gets, when I clear my name up, that person that falsely accused me of doing that, ain't she gonna get in trouble?
That's up to New Mexico. That's not.
That's messed up, man. That's not good. Yes, ma'am.
You're gonna sign one more time, go ahead.
You're done. 16 four by the door.
Did you still want to look at the waiver?
Sorry, what? We're supposed to just look at 2 signatures, thank you. Because it's a safety check because we've had kerfuffles. I've been living forever waiting, probably not doing it, but maybe if we get used to that. Yeah, one signature on it.
So the remaining two cases, I'm going to conduct at their cells. The first one is Curtis Richardson, Superior Court case out of Maryvale Justice. He was, his allegations are burglary in the third degree and unlawful entry, a class 4 felony, fighting a public defender. His next court date will be June 25th, 26th at 8:31 a.m. at the Superior Court Building for a status conference, a preliminary hearing on June 18th at 8:31 a.m. and June 29th at the preliminary hearing is June 29th, 8:31 a.m. I'm going to be releasing Mr. Curtis on his own recognizance, and I'll go over his conditions and restrictions of a release at his cell. The next person is Megan Christine Hawley, date of birth of May 26, 1997. Her allegations are aggravated DUI, with driving with suspended license of a class 4 felony, and unlawful flight, a class 5 felony. I'm providing her with a public defender. Her next court date will be June 25th at 8:31 and at Superior Court, and June 29th, 8:31 Superior Court. I'm going to provide her supervised release. She's to contact pretrial services within 24 hours and undergo alcohol testing and monitoring. And again, I will go over those conditions with her of release at her cell. Okay, time's 12:05 and we are in recess until 2 p.m.